Then, now, forever. Together.
This is Vegas, the epicenter of entertainment. The road to WrestleMania has turned left off of the Fame Strip, crossed Frank Sinatra Drive, right onto Dean Martin Way. The modern-day in-ring Rat Pack is a locker room filled with superstars. 2 days of intensity and spectacle and one super-sized Allegiant Stadium as Cricket presents the countdown to WrestleMania night number 1. Among those competing today is one of the biggest social media influencers and incredible athletes, I Show Speed. Speed has found himself in the mix with The Vision, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul. The Usos await, Jimmy and Jay, always at their best when they're by each other's side. Tonight they enter Mania with all eyes on everything Usi. For the first time in her well-traveled career, Stephanie Vaquer is at WrestleMania. She makes her grandest stage debut as a world champion against Liv Morgan. And the bus is here. The one everyone looks for with the signature American Nightmare logo on it. Cody Rhodes has made it to Vegas with the reality that everything has been thrown at him, trying to retain his undisputed championship. Look at this scene already. I mean, we're 3 hours away to 2 days of celebration that defines sports entertainment. Since 1985, these fans here behind us know this has always been the moment that always builds the most memorable moments.
We're seeing the greatest spectacle in wrestling history right now.
Hulk Hogan's gonna bury him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WrestleMania.
Unbelievable! A dream has come true. This is the pinnacle of entertainment.
Oh my God. Oh man.
Wow.
I mean, my God. Let's see. Ooh.
I got a lot of them. When I think of WrestleMania, I think of Roddy Piper, Burt Reynolds, Aretha Franklin.
WrestleMania 9, Yokozuna versus Bret Hart.
WrestleMania 7, Macho King and Miss Elizabeth reconciling. A love story right in front of your face.
The end of an era match.
The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. You could literally feel the arena split in half. Goosebumps thinking about it.
When Brock Lesnar ended the Undertaker streak.
The streak is over.
Was definitely some tears in the house.
Welcome to the big time!
Kofi did it! Kofi is champion!
John Cena winning the WWE Championship for the first time.
Hands down, WrestleMania 1, the main event, my father.
Cowboy Bob Orton. As WrestleMania makes history.
Stone Cold Steve Austin came out, and the entire stadium erupted and said, hell yeah.
The final chapter has been inked.
When China turned on Kane.
Andre and Hogan standing there in the middle of this huge stadium.
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
Just one of those iconic moments of wrestling history.
Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero.
I remember being in Philly and how emotional it was.
Finish the story!
It was pandemonium.
That was incredible.
Means the world to me. He likes it.
Get to now pass it on to my kids.
Make memories.
The one and only time our family went to WrestleMania, we came out of it with a lifelong memory.
That's the beauty of wrestling.
WrestleMania is the top.
Biggest event of the year.
The greatest spectacle in the world.
The grandest stage of them all.
WrestleMania is magic.
It's one of those things that you dream about.
It's just like, whoa.
The one show that could change your life. WrestleMania has gave a lot of people in the world hope.
That one moment, the entire world stops. That's it.
You're gonna be in for one hell of a night.
All gas, no brakes with WrestleMania.
It's WrestleMania, bro.
For just the third time in this city's history, Las Vegas hosts WrestleMania, and it comes as an encore addition to last year's Epic Mania. Back-to-back years now for Allegiant Stadium. This palace built with 28,000 tons of steel. Speaking of a guy who can lift heavy objects and carry something, the road to this has been paved by Paul Triple H Levesque, the former WrestleMania legend, now responsible for legend making. Drew McIntyre has found himself in the most dangerous of spots here in Vegas. His roll of the dice has gone off the table. The feud with Jacob Fatu now comes with an unsanctioned match here later today. A massive crowd is here as we welcome you to the countdown to WrestleMania presented by Cricket. Joe Tessitore alongside Big E, Corey Graves, and Wade Barrett. What a day, what a scene, what a crowd already. Big E, we will start with you. What has you most excited for Mania?
Look, Tess, I know we're going to dig into the main event very, very soon. But look, Stephanie Vaquera and Liv Morgan has been very heated very quickly. I'm excited to see what they bring. I know it's going to be aggressive and it's going to be violent.
Well, E, you mentioned the main event, and like so many around the WWE universe, I cannot wait to watch the main event unfold. We're talking 20 years of history between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, but I say my excitement comes with a caveat, that being Pat McAfee. Yeah. According to Pat McAfee, WWE and pro wrestling needs saving. Judging by the sea of WrestleManiacs behind us, that doesn't seem to be the case. But I worry, guys. I worry. What does this place look like on Monday?
Wow.
If Randy Orton leaves with Pat McAfee in the WWE Championship tonight.
And I'm going to go for the unsanctioned match.
Yeah, let's go.
Drew McIntyre and the Convict, Jacob Fatu. Now, these are two men who are capable of the utmost savagery, and with this being unsanctioned, kind of no rules, so they can do whatever they want. The entire stadium is their arena for violence, so this one could see some blood.
And by the way, everything on the ESPN app, but that match will be in the first hour, also available on ESPN2. We have so much to talk about, so let's get to our all-star team of reporters as we bring everybody in. And we mentioned already the intense match with Stephanie Vaquera and Liv Morgan. Our Kathy Kelly found herself in the middle of all that physicality this week. Kathy, it's good to see you back on your feet, feeling much better with what happened this week to you with those two.
Yeah, thanks so much, Joe. I'm okay. My neck is still a little bit tight. I think, if anything, I was just in shock during that moment, as a lot of people were, and a little bit embarrassed because I was hoping that I could get myself out of the way, but it clearly came out of nowhere. And I think that, you know, There has just been so much collateral damage in the build-up to their title match. Neither Liv Morgan nor Stephanie Vaquer is walking into this match at 100%. We saw Liv Morgan walking around Vegas this week with that welt on her head. She is showing off her battle wounds. She is proud of them. To quote her during the kickoff yesterday, she said, "Still hot though." I haven't heard from Liv Morgan, nor have I reached out to her, but Stephanie did apologize twice now. And more on Stephanie. Let's head over to Byron Saxton.
Thank you, Kathy. You could make the argument that a large part of tonight's match hinges upon the response of Stephanie Vaquer. Listen, we know she has a ton of pressure on her shoulders. Competing at her very first WrestleMania, defending her Women's World title at her very first WrestleMania. But how does Stephanie respond to all the vitriol she's feeling right now towards Liv Morgan, who has made it her own personal side hustle to get under her skin? How she handles that response could dictate who leaves WrestleMania as the Women's World Champion. Well, for now, let's send things over to Jackie Redmond for an update on the undisputed WWE Champion.
Well, when it comes to tonight's main event between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, a lot of the attention has been on Pat McAfee, so much so that many people have questioned if Cody Rhodes' focus is in the right place, including one CM Punk. Well, I asked Cody about that this morning, and he said, Jackie, admittedly, I've been distracted by Pat, but after hearing what Punk had to say last night on SmackDown, my mind has never been more clear about what actually matters. And it ain't Pat McAfee. This is about the American Nightmare further cementing his legacy as a legend in WWE against the legend killer himself in Randy Orton. It is as simple as that for Cody. But Rosenberg, as you know, that is a pretty tall task when it comes to Randy.
Jackie, literally a very tall task. 6'5", 280 pounds, as Pat McAfee will remind you. But you brought that up, the idea of Cody being distracted and the whole Pat McAfee of it all. Randy Orton made clear last night the only thing Pat McAfee did was wake up Orton to what he needs to do in order to get the job done. I think all of the noise has only focused Randy more on that task, and that is capturing title number 15. Back to you, Tess.
Thank you, Peter. That is the history-making target for Randy Orton. Of course, the history of Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. It looks this way as you see Cody Rhodes, a three-time world champion. WrestleMania 40 was the signature moment in Philadelphia, and then for the Viper. 21 WrestleMania matches, a 14-time world champion, tied with Triple H. He's trying to go into third place all time. The timeline, 2 entire decades of history, going back to 2007, when Cody Rhodes made his WWE debut. It came against Randy Orton, of course, forming the legacy fashion right through what we've seen in recent years, with the friendship up until last month, when that brutal beatdown happened just about 2 feet away from where you and I were broadcasting. Let's get into the big one today when it comes to Cody and Randy. And Corey, I will start with you. This idea that Cody's focus isn't solely on Randy Orton because of the disruption of Pat McAfee.
Well, from the outside looking in, it certainly gives the appearance that Cody is preoccupied, if nothing else, with Pat McAfee. And like him or not, Pat can be polarizing, but Pat understands this game. Pat's a very bright man. He knows what he's doing. He's got reasons for doing what he's doing. If Cody can somehow overcome that and compartmentalize the situation. Remember, this is WrestleMania. Cody, this is what you lived your life for. This is a dream come true. You have excelled on this stage. If Cody can keep his head straight, focus on Orton, it's still going to be a tough night, but can Cody get the job done?
How difficult of a challenge is that for Cody at this point, with everything that's happened in the last 2.5 weeks?
Well, to stay laser focused on Randy Orton once the bell rings, I think will be fairly easy. I think the issue may be that Pat McAfee will be up to no good on the outside of the ring. That is an assumption I think we can all safely make. So staying locked in on Orton while Pat McAfee tries his antics and tries to do everything he can to make sure that Randy Orton leaves Las Vegas as a 15-time champion of the world. That's the tough part for Cody Rhodes tonight.
I will say there's a little bit of concern for me after last night with Cody. His conversation with CM Punk in that ring made me think this is someone who is looking at a future that seems inevitable, one that is not going to go his way. He's talking about his father and relationships and about how this all means so much. He's getting very emotional. My concern is I think he's someone who thinks he's up against a system, a network of people who are out to get him, and maybe this is a system I can't beat anymore.
On the other side, Randy Orton, a run of success few have or ever really will duplicate. And now the complex drama fighting now for the undisputed WWE Championship. Wade, you recently went one-on-one with Randy Orton. Here's the conversation with the Viper.
Randy, 12 years since your last WrestleMania main event, you are closing in on your 15th World Championship. Are you driven by your legacy, or is it something more personal?
Oh, I'm driven by legacy, Wade. But everything in life, especially everything here, has at least a little bit of personal to it. Look at the history of Cody and I, and it's every bit personal. In this particular moment, what's driving me is legacy, because I realize, Wade, that nothing lasts forever. Next thing on the list for me to accomplish is that 15th World Championship. Then I beat Triple H, and then I've got Ric Flair and John Cena in my sights. My goal is to leave this company one day with more World Championship gold around my waist than any other competitor that has ever stepped foot into a WWE ring.
Well, you said nothing lasts forever. You sustained a career-threatening injury. Now, when you finally got over that injury, you returned, you seemed controlled, you seemed grateful. But of late, we've seen a far more ruthless version of the Viper.
Oh, an RKO on Jelly!
Which one is the real Randy Orton?
I think they're both the real Randy Orton. I've known that something was missing. Ever since I came back from my fusion, I've told me not to be bitter about anything, not to take any second in that ring for granted. And I haven't. But I've known, as I stated before, that something was missing. And I had a little birdie on my shoulder. I had someone in my ear kind of motivate me and make me realize what it was that was missing. I knew that lately, the last few years since my fusion, I haven't been able to be the man that I need to be in that ring to make sure that I get that job done. Now I know what I need to do.
Those voices have been heard and he is snapped!
Like I said, I had someone in my ear.
What? Pat McAfee? I'm the one telling Randy Orton to kill everything!
And they helped me realize what it was I need to do to be the bad man that I once was in the WWE ring once more.
Well, you and Cody have had a hell of a history together, dating all the way back to your time together in Legacy, where you were his mentor. After Legacy, he struggled for a while to find his own identity before evolving and becoming the world champion he is today. Are you proud of Cody's journey?
100%. I am proud of Cody. Cody left this business. Most people don't have the balls to do that. Cody went, he got better, and he came back, and he got a lot better, and he put gold around his waist, and his story was finished, and now it's time for me to finish my story. And even with everything that's transpired, I still love Cody like a brother now. I will tomorrow, and I will after I beat him for the Undisputed Championship. Cody's listening to the voices, and Cody realizes that those voices are telling him that he can't do it. He can't get it done. He's gonna leave Vegas if he's lucky on his own 2 feet, but I ain't walking out of Vegas without that title, and likely he's gonna have to be carried out.
So Randy Orton trying to put himself into the elite class. You go through the championship run that he's had, through all the years to build up 14 world championships as 2 decades pass by. I mean, this is a resume like no other.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I've shared the ring many times with Randy Orton. I rarely fared well. There's a reason this guy is on the Mount Rushmore all-time of WWE superstars. When it's said and done, he might hold the record for world championships.
As our good friend JBL so eloquently states on a frequent basis, if you were to build a professional wrestler from the ground up, a WWE superstar, you would end up with Randy Orton.
And Randy Orton is only getting bigger bigger, stronger, and faster. He is laser focused. I see the Viper that we all knew and feared many years ago.
And now will we see a graphic that gets filled in without those question marks? 2026, will it simply say 15? We get the answer later on today, right here in Vegas on the ESPN app. It is the undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes against the Viper, Randy Orton. That is coming up later as the crowd continues to grow here. WrestleMania 42 underway in less than 3 hours. And still to come, it's been 30 years since Shawn Michaels defeated Bret the Hitman Hart in that historic Iron Man match. Well, guess who's joining us live today? Bret Hart will be here, plus more exclusive. The Tribal Chief Roman Reigns sits down with Michael Cole. And coming up on the Countdown Show, Cody Rhodes shares his truest feelings on today's match.
Talking on the phone is the most disappointing reveal in the history of pro wrestling.
Hey, everybody in Vegas knows this is where you get your exclusive WrestleMania merchandise. It's available here at the WrestleMania Superstore, and it's open every day until 11 p.m. through Monday. Located at the Las Vegas Convention Center South Hall. Stop by with the largest collection of WrestleMania merchandise, and that's where we found Shuey Martinez at WWE World.
What's happening in Las Vegas? Here we are at WWE World. Shuey Martinez here hanging out with the beautiful fans. We're gonna go inside, check out some merch in the Superstore. Let's go inside, all right? Woo! Hey, what are you buying?
Got some Becky Lynch, my Nia Jax shirts. Go Nia!
That is a work of art. Is this all for you?
All for me, yeah. Merch freak. So
Merch freak?
I think there's only 10 of these made.
And it spins, baby. Okay.
And still,
okay.
and still.
How amazing is it to be over here at WrestleMania and experiencing all this, brother?
Oh, this is my 7th, and it never gets old.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
What do you have? Who are you holding over there?
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory?
Yeah.
What's up, Yeska? How you doing? He's doing great.
We are ready for WWE World. We're ready for the Superstore. We are ready for WrestleMania.
That's right! That's right! Woo!
Great scene there at WWE World. Of course, when we get started today in WrestleMania 42, both on the ESPN app and ESPN2 for the first hour, it is going to be a 6-man tag team. LA Knight and the Usos against The Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and I Show Speed. Now, this is not the first time that we've seen I Show Speed in the spotlight. You know what happened with Randy Orton at WrestleMania 40. How about a little RKO Speed? Welcome to the big time. And then when he was sawed in half at the Royal Rumble by Braun Breaker, and now I Show Speed in the 6-man tag against the Usos and LA Knight.
Jimmy and Jay defend the gold against their arch rivals, The Vision. Logan Paul's bomb just handed him brass knuckles. LA Knight. I Show Speed getting a show. I want to put those down, Speed. Oh no! I Show Speed just knocked out LA Knight with the brass knuckles. Brass knucks by Paul. We've got new tag team champions.
Congratulations, bud. I didn't mean to get involved. Whatever you meant to do doesn't matter. Now you have enemy speed. You have real enemy speed.
Make me laugh, Speed. LA Knight, how'd you get in my house? The shot heard around the world.
I'm just gonna need a receipt for that.
What the? Help me. LA Knight hates you. The Usos hate you. Everyone hates you.
Your only safe space around here is with us, brother.
Logan Paul just shoved Speed into Knight. Speed, you got nowhere to go. You want a 6-man tag? Hey, Speed, you're going to WrestleMania.
I'm not a wrestler. This is my first match in this WrestleMania.
Everyone hates you. I mean it.
Except us, we got your back.
I'm ready. You 3 guys getting stomped out by the Usos and by LA Knight. Yeah!
I just love that moment of Speed. You got nowhere to go. Big E, what has I Showed Speed gotten himself into here?
Look, this man does not seem like the most excited person to be in this match, but look, expectations are high. We know he is a physical freak. He has made a name for himself, obviously a massive following as a YouTuber, as a streamer, but this dude is a legitimate athlete, but he is going to be in there with some of the very best our industry has to offer. So a lot of eyes are going to be on Speed, and if he can keep up, because the expectations for him, I think, are fairly high.
Wait, I want to ask you about that. You say he's a legitimate athlete. How good is he, and how impressed are you athletically alone with speed.
I mean, he's kind of built his entire name, his image, his streaming talents on the fact that he is a freak athlete. I think we all understand what he can do. We've seen little glimpses of it here in WWE. The key is he really is completely inexperienced. And what he has to do today to have any form of success is listen to the veterans, listen to Paul Heyman, listen to Austin Theory, and especially listen to the veteran that is Logan Paul in Logan Paul's 5th WrestleMania.
With that said, you gotta look at the other side of the ring, Wade. The megastar, LA Knight. This is a guy who's been criticized a lot recently about not being able to get it done when it counts most. It doesn't get any bigger than this. This is the pinnacle of our industry. LA Knight, you want to continue to carve your legacy in WWE? You cannot lose this one. And you've got some pretty outstanding partners standing by your side. One of the greatest tag teams to ever do it, Jimmy and Jey Uso. Last year won the World Championship. He wants back at the top.
And that was a point that I was going to make. Where is Jay's head at if a year ago you were in a World Championship match, beating Gunther, becoming a world champion for the first time, and now you're in a 6-man? Is he going to be as focused, or is he going to be worried about who his favorite member of Dipset is? I don't know if you saw that camera on it, but where is Jey Uso's head at before this match?
Well, I'll tell you right now, it wasn't so long ago that Jey Uso and LA Knight were like this. At each other's throats every single show. So the key to me for their success is Jimmy Uso. Jimmy has to be the glue that keeps that team together. He has to play the diplomat tonight. Otherwise, they're going to get smoked.
You get very excited every time you say LA Knight that way. And I know it's because here, the casinos in Vegas, they're often criticized for pumping oxygen into the casino floor to keep everybody awake. But at his hotel casino, they're actually pumping Kavorka into the air, into the ventilation system.
My loins tingle.
I know, the tingling loins.
Talk about your
of Wade
loins.
Barrett. All right, we're going to talk more about that match as the day goes on, but we want to get to what's happening with the Women's Intercontinental match, because look who has arrived. AJ Lee. For the first time, the Women's Intercontinental Championship is on the line at WrestleMania.
AJ Lee, after a decade, is back!
Becky, she just lights a fire in me that I forgot that I had.
AJ, you made a big mistake coming back. Welcome to the big time.
I know you try so hard. I know you wish you were me. You're so kind of whatever. You wear it on your sleeve. I think I know what you hide. You wanna sell what's free. It kills you to be kind.
AJ wins the Intercontinental title.
I'll say it once, won't say it again. Look in my eyes when you talk your
There is only so much disrespect that one woman can take.
You quit because you knew I was coming for you. You saw your replacement.
I'm proud of you and everything that you've done. You've made history, but none of that happens without me.
I'ma show you why I am the best of my generation and yours, why I am your daughter's favorite wrestler. I will give you what you want at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania? That's my domain. I murdered the Divas era. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do to AJ Lee.
Every time that we've met in this ring, I have walked you like a dog. I have to embarrass your ass one more time.
As for the unique history with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, of course, you know what happened at Elimination Chamber in Chicago, that special night for the family of AJ Lee and CM Punk. But go all the way back to WrestlePalooza and the mixed tag. And then what we saw November 29th with the Women's War Games as well. It has been all AJ Lee, and they meet up today as we get a chance to check in with Jackie Redmond and the Women's IC title holder. Jackie.
Taz, thank you so much. Yes, I am here with AJ Lee, who will make history tonight as the first woman to defend this Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. So first off, congratulations, AJ. I mean, you were making history 11 years ago. You're making history tonight. Your impact on this business it's undeniable. There are women here today that were inspired by you. At this point in your life, like, what does this moment mean for you?
It means everything, Jackie. Everything I fought for a decade ago, it's come to fruition. And I'm so proud to have knocked down those doors and shattered those glass ceilings. I'm so proud to have a career that's full of firsts, that's full of impossible achievements and mountains I've climbed. But tonight is the ultimate mountain. Becky is my Mount Everest. This is her home turf. But 11 years ago, I walked in and out as champion. And you better believe I'm going to do that again.
Well, listen, I appreciate the time. Congratulations again on an already historic night. Good luck tonight, and thank you for the time. Tess, as you know, I mean, a few years ago, we weren't sure we would ever have AJ Lee back at WrestleMania, but she's here, it's real, and I'm very excited to see it go down.
Yeah, so many have been for a long time now. The stunning return, and now the Intercontinental Champion, and now defending here at WrestleMania. E, how do you see it?
Look, it's hard to beat Becky Lynch 3 times. A 4th time for me, very difficult to conceive. Look, I think AJ Lee, the difference is this is not a woman who is new to WWE. Again, she's not fresh back. She now has several matches under her belt. I think her feet are wet now, but I think Becky Lynch is so crafty. She is really at the top of her game. It is hard for me to fathom her not finding a way to reverse her fortunes.
I gotta agree with you, E. I think this is Becky's domain. Right? AJ Lee's return has been a great feel-good story for everyone. We've all had a great time watching it unfold and had several incredible moments. But this is where Becky Lynch thrives. This is WrestleMania. Becky Lynch, one of 3 women who main evented, headlined WrestleMania. The man has nothing else to live for right now beyond the Intercontinental Championship. And trust me, she is here in Las Vegas. She is locked in. She is laser focused. And she can't wait to prove to the world that AJ Lee is a relic from the past.
Yeah, Becky Lynch's key tonight is very simple. The entire prep, the entire camp for this match should have revolved around one thing. Avoid the Black Widow, because it's 0-3 for Becky Lynch. She's tapped 3 times to the Black Widow. Either avoid at all costs, or if you are in there, figure out some pretty quick reversal, because I worry for the psyche of Becky Lynch should she lose again tonight. Becky Lynch, as we all know, is here to be A1, the very top, the best of them all. If she loses again tonight, that argument can no longer be made. She's simply not as good as AJ Lee. Becky has to win tonight.
If she loses tonight, God help us all.
Exactly. AJ and Becky is one of 4 title matches we have on this Saturday card of WrestleMania. We have the women's tag team match, this the IC, the women's world champion with Steph and Liv, and then of course Cody and Randy. So our panel's spicy takes are presented by Wendy's new spicy chicken sandwich, which is crispier and more flavor packed than ever. And I ask you this hot take. 4 title matches that I just presented on tonight's card. Hot take being that all 4 titles are going to change hands, Big E.
I'm going to say yes. I think it's very possible. I think we see a lot of disruption tonight. I really think the landscape of WWE is going to alter, and I think it's a very real possibility.
I think Becky Lynch captures the Intercontinental Championship. I think that one does change hands, but the one I think does not change hands is going to be Vaquer and Liv Morgan.
Interesting.
Stephanie Vaquer marching into her first WrestleMania, a proud women's world champion. I don't think she's giving that thing up.
All right, the Wendy spicy hot take is that all 4 titles change hands. Wade, what say you?
I say there is absolutely 0 chance of all 4 championships changing hands. That basically implies that our champions going into tonight are all rubbish and they are all gonna lose. And I'll tell you right now, my favorite tag team who's out there these days are the irresistible forces. And guess what? It is squashing time tonight here in Vegas.
That is coming up in the Fatal 4-Way. By the way, look at how this crowd continues to grow here outside Allegiant Stadium as we are now under 2.5 hours to WrestleMania 42. As things continue, we will sit down with Triple H. This is an incredible conversation that reveals so much in the process of Paul Levesque. And Roman Reigns sits down with Michael Cole.
You know, live performers. This is what I'm meant to do.
Wakey, wakey.
What's going on?
Curious about these. You were gonna cut me up. You can't even touch raw meat.
All you do is criticize me.
You are possessed!
It seems like you guys have some marital issues.
Beautiful day here live in Las Vegas for the first WrestleMania that will be on ESPN. And what an incredible week it's been with WWE and ESPN together for the first time.
WWE loves our city so much, they're coming back.
For the second straight year, we're hosting the biggest weekend in pro wrestling.
WrestleMania storms back into Allegiant Stadium.
Hi, I am here to take over ESPN.
Y'all are at a crazy level right now.
It is definitely next level.
Let's talk about it. 75,000, 80,000 people, all in Las Vegas to do one thing. Whoop that trick. You need to come to the ring with us. You know we got WrestleMania around the corner.
I'm coming. I'll be there.
Every year it just gets crazier and crazier.
All we look at that is wrestling Super Bowl.
This is our Super Bowl. I like to say the Super Bowl is the NFL's WrestleMania.
This is the biggest season of my life.
It's the ultimate spectacle. That's what WrestleMania really is.
It's so fun. Paul Heyman! If you're gonna do it, take your best shot.
Every match on the card this year has the potential of stealing the show.
We have so many massive new stars. It's got to feel amazing to be headlining again. It's got to be incredible.
Randy Orton's going to save the business. Yeah, he's going to become 15-time world champion. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Randy. I love it, and I want to applaud Pat McAfee for that. See, the difference is I'm not as courageous as Pat McAfee. I ain't trying to get hit by one of them big boys.
This is your first time with the gold at WrestleMania.
I mean, this is what I do. I'm about to be 3 now at WrestleMania.
I cannot wait for this. It's going to be massive.
I know it's going to be a night that is looked back on forever.
This Saturday and Sunday in Las Vegas. Styling, profiling.
Amazing week building towards this moment. This massive crowd is already here in Vegas, as is one of the very best in the business, the face and voice of NXT, Vic Joseph.
Thank you very much, Joe. This segment presented by Cricket. I'm being joined by Sol Ruca. Look, Sol, you've been here meeting the WWE Universe. I got to get your thoughts on the vibe right now here at WrestleMania.
Honestly, the vibe is absolutely insane. It is so cool being able to spend time with all of you, seeing you guys represent your favorite superstars. And I've actually had my own WrestleMania experience. I was the Cinemoji a few years ago, but it's not the same as being out there and competing in front of you guys. And I'm going to do everything in my power to be out there next year.
Well, look, let's talk about something that's happening this Tuesday. It's NXT Revenge, last woman standing, you and Zarya. How did we get to here? How did we get to this point?
Honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it. You know, it stems from jealousy and envy, and instead of using that jealousy to fuel her own personal growth, she decided to take it out on me. I honestly don't have too much hard feelings for her, but I mean, I think she's pretty much done with me, and we have our last woman standing match on Tuesday, and hopefully I am the last woman standing.
Well, I think the WWE Universe that is surrounding us would love to see you as the last woman standing. But I do have this question for you, and I'll wrap it up with this. You were so close to winning the Royal Rumble. You had a great match, a great victory, a statement win against Bayley at John Cena's last match. how much fire do you now have to put your name on the marquee next year at WrestleMania?
Oh my God, I have so much fire in me. I mean, I've been this close so many times. And again, I'm gonna do everything in my power to be able to show up and show out and prove that I belong here and prove that I belong at WrestleMania.
Well, thank you for your time. I know your eyes, my eyes, and the eyes of the world are gonna be on the Women's World Championship match tonight when Stephanie Vaquer defends against Liv Morgan.
No doubt about it, Vic. Great to visit with Sol. No doubt about her future when it comes to this. When it comes to headlines, look no further than the headlines that Liv Morgan is constantly making, including the now wildly popular music video, Trouble. Wade, have you downloaded it? Is it top in your playlist right now?
Oh man, it's my new ringtone. I am looking for trouble tonight here in Las Vegas, and I've got a funny feeling Liv Morgan is going to bring it for us. What a banger!
It is indeed. It is the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan against Stephanie Vaquer. It has gotten personal, at times crossing the line. It has gotten very physical. Just look at the golf ball size knot on the forehead of Liv Morgan. And here is Stephanie Vaquer, her first career match at WrestleMania, and it's as the world champion.
Liv, WWE signed you when you were 20 years old, and I'm glad they did. Puedo ver lo buena que eres. Lo que realmente me molesta de ti es que tienes todas las herramientas para ser grandiosa, pero eres una ignorante que no las usa. ¿Estás orgullosa de eso? Para que sepas, ambas tuvimos privilegios. Y esas chozas de barro me hicieron lo que soy. Y yo estoy orgullosa de eso. Porque mientras tú te forjabas alrededor de gente con experiencia, yo me forjé en el infierno. Yo me forjé con fuego. Porque las dos tuvimos caminos diferentes para llegar aquí, pero ahora ambas tenemos la habilidad de estar aquí. La diferencia es que tú te has convertido en una floja. You better bring all your years of training with you when you step in the ring with me, because at WrestleMania, I will bring the blood, sweat, and all my experience, and I will use it to continue making history as your Women's World Champion.
You don't just show up with title in hand and get to this stage. It has been a long and arduous road for Stephanie Vaquer, from Chile to Mexico, refining her skills in Japan, and now an absolute rock star since coming to WWE and NXT, and all the way to the breakout performance of becoming the Women's World Champion at WrestlePalooza, on to all the premium live events, the great reception around the world of holding gold, and now here, the Women's World Champion in Vegas for WrestleMania 42. And Corey, I know you have great respect for those that take the difficult path of coming up the way that Stephanie Vaquer has.
Absolutely, and the fact that this is Stephanie's first WrestleMania and the weight that comes with walking into WrestleMania as the Women's World Champion, that's not lost on Vaquer. But this is the opportunity to prove why La Primera is who she says she is, and that she's as good as she has strived and aspired to be for her entire life. On the other side of the coin, you've got Liv Morgan, who has WrestleMania experience. And much like I picked Becky Lynch in the Intercontinental Championship match because of her massive WrestleMania experience, you'd think I might give the nod to Liv Morgan. Not in this one. I think this match, this night, this moment means too much to Stephanie Vaquer.
And look, I think Stephanie made a lot of really great points in that video. I will say I don't think that Liv Morgan is lazy. I think she works very hard. But I think in many ways you can say that this machine, this WWE machine, you know, having Liv Morgan join the Judgment Day really accelerated and boosted her career. Stephanie has done so much of this work alone. She doesn't have Dominic around her. She doesn't have Judgment Day coming in to interfere. She's had to grind and has traveled the world. I love that we got to see that map, because we get to see that this woman has really traveled around the globe honing her craft, and she's done it on her own.
Well, it has been a brilliant 2 years here under the WWE umbrella for Stephanie Vaquer. Of that, there is no doubt, but it has been a 2 years that can be summarized by her being calm, composed, controlled. The masterstroke that Liv Morgan has pulled here, she's made this emotional. She's made Stephanie Vaquer start acting erratically. And here's the thing, Liv Morgan is the one of those two who thrives in the chaos. Tonight is going to be a chaotic matchup, and that absolutely favors Liv Morgan.
Is there a subliminal message in Liv's music video? Did that seep into your brain as you were listening to it on repeat?
Well, it's been non-stop. It's all I can think about right now. I might just sing the lyrics for the entirety of the match.
Should I not talk about how you crawled onto the stage?
But listen, you do not need a translator to understand what we've been hearing in some of these heated promos of Liv crossing the line when it comes to discussing her Stephanie Vaquer's family, and that's exactly what you're talking about. She has been composed. Can she stay composed while this thing's been building red hot? Let's get to Kathy Kelly, who's with the champ.
Yeah, Joe, I'm here with the Women's World Champion, Stephanie Vaquer. And Stephanie, this is crazy to think you are doing your WrestleMania debut with the Women's World Championship. This has been arguably the most heated rivalry heading into this weekend between yourself and Liv Morgan. But what is that feeling for you walking in to WrestleMania as champ?
I have worked my entire life to get to WrestleMania. I have worked my entire life to hold this title. And tonight, the most important match in my career. And it's sad because for Liv, this is about fame and attention, promoting her song. But for me, it's about years of sacrifice. No solo eso, también es representación de toda mi gente latina que siempre me ha apoyado. Por eso, tonight, I'm going to beat Liv Morgan.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie. You heard her. She is going to beat Liv Morgan and retain that Women's World Championship.
Thank you very much, Kathy. That is coming your way right here on this Saturday edition, day one of WrestleMania 42. Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vaquer, the Women's World Championship. After all the non-stop brawling and verbal barbs, they decided tonight on the ESPN app. Still to come. Cody Rhodes sits down with us. He goes into great detail about everything he's been dealing with. And the top 10 celebrity moments at WrestleMania. What were they? We will reveal them as we continue on live from Vegas. AJ Styles will join us as well.
I know guys like me were never supposed to make it, but here I am, and because of you.
Stewie, you are an absolute legend. Remember when he showed us how to get around the firewall? He's so good at doctoring receipts. Am I right? Business expenses. And who knew AI can make it look like you're in the office? This guy!
Miz, have a Snickers.
Snickers satisfies.
just over 2 hours away from the greatest spectacle in sports entertainment. It is day one, Saturday of WrestleMania. It will be topped with the undisputed championship, Cody versus Randy. And what you see right there, those two matches also available on ESPN2. Of course, glad you're with us here on the ESPN app. You can stay with us right through the post show. Oh boy, something bad's coming this way. Drew McIntyre has arrived. The unsanctioned match against Jacob Fatu awaits, as does the fatal four-way. Charlexa, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair. Could they earn gold again in a top-heavy, loaded field that includes legends, the Hall of Famers, the Bella Twins? It's a fatal four-way to determine the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Glad you're with us. Joe Tessitore, Corey Graves, and Big E. Wade Barrett had to go off and get his voice ready to call the action. Meanwhile, the voices behind us keep rising in anticipation and excitement.
It's WrestleMania, Joe. Are you surprised? We live for this. This is like Christmas and Halloween and whatever else holiday you could put together all in one amazing weekend. And what's not to be fired up about?
And it's seemingly, I know there's people that say, wow, back-to-back in Las Vegas. And yet, when you take a look around the scenery, the vibe, it fits Vegas perfectly.
No, it absolutely does. It feels like WWE in many ways was meant to be in Las Vegas.
Including everything we've seen this week, because WWE World at the Las Vegas Convention Center has been a scene, and there was an incredibly special moment that happened just the other day that we're going to reveal to you in a moment. But first, we want to get to what was revealed inside Allegiant Stadium yesterday. Jackie and Peter, take it away.
Yeah, Tess, thank you so much. It is a tradition that has become an absolute fan favorite for the WWE Universe, and that is the WrestleMania set reveal. It happened yesterday. Fans look forward to this every single year, and this year was no different. This year, WWE invited over 30 content creators from YouTube for an exclusive first look at the WrestleMania 42 set, and it looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good, and it was actually extra special. They brought in the undisputed champ, Cody Rhodes, to celebrate as well. But Jackie, you referenced the tradition of the set, and that is a tradition that goes back a long, long time.
WrestleMania, where set becomes spectacle. An enchanting symphony of engineering and artistic genius, of grandiosity and detail, where arenas and stadiums transform into amusement parks and cinemas, pyramids and pirate ships, where the only limit to design is the depth of one's imagination. And as this year's WrestleMania returns to Las Vegas, thousands of hours, countless hands, and one vision have truly produced the grandest stage of them all.
Now, when it comes to time on the ground, last year the incredible set was done in 12 days. However, because of some concert commitments in Las Vegas.
Shout out Bruno Mars. Shout out Luke Combs.
We love Bruno Mars. We love Luke Combs. We had only 5 days to get this year's set done. Came out pretty good, Jack.
I'd say so.
Incredible scene there inside the stadium. This was the scene as Nick Hogan, the son of the legendary Hulk Hogan, was surprised by Triple H with the magnificent statue of the late, great Hulk Hogan. It's been on display here in Vegas. Big documentary coming out in the life of Hulk Hogan. Of course, the legacy of the man who really built the foundation for everything we're experiencing here today. Speaking of legends, by the way, this is going to be the 25th year that Michael Cole broadcast WrestleMania. There are few broadcasters attached to one single championship sport more than Michael, like Jim Nance is to the Masters, Keith Jackson was to the Rose Bowl, and Michael Cole is to WrestleMania. Good afternoon, my dear friend.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you so much for the kind words. You know, it's been quite the weekend for the memory of Hulk Hogan. Last night at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, there was this wonderful statue that was revealed of the immortal moment from WrestleMania 3, 93,000 Pontiac Silverdome, the night that Hulk Hogan would lift Andre the Giant off his feet and deliver the power slam. The slam heard round the world. And I cannot believe that this is the first time we will celebrate WrestleMania without the presence of Hulk Hogan. I took the opportunity to pen an essay to the Immortal One. In late March of 1985, Hulkamania had been running wild for over a year. The Immortal Hulk Hogan was one of the most popular people on the planet, so it was a no-brainer that he would be in the main event at the greatest wrestling event of all time, the very first WrestleMania.
The greatest representation in the world of professional wrestling, champ Hulk Hogan.
The spectacle was a massive success, and it's fair to say that without Hulk Hogan, we wouldn't be in Las Vegas today for the 42nd edition of the Showcase of the Immortals. In the early days of this pop culture phenomenon, Hulk was the person people wanted to see, main eventing 8 of the first 9 WrestleManias, second in history to only Roman Reigns. I watched in awe as Hulkster did the unthinkable at WrestleMania 3 and actually body slammed the behemoth known as Andre the Giant.
I don't believe it!
93,000 people in attendance gasped as Hogan shocked the world. I was emotionally torn when the mega powers, Hogan and Savage, exploded in WrestleMania 5.
This entire building has become unglued!
At WrestleMania 6 at Sky Dome in Toronto, I shed a tear as Hulk stepped aside to give the spotlight to the Ultimate Warrior in the Ultimate Challenge.
I do believe Hulkamania will live forever! It absolutely will!
Ironically, it was not in a main event where Hogan may have given this show its greatest moment. Returning to Sky Dome in Toronto for his first WrestleMania in 9 years, Hogan squared off against The Rock. Icon versus icon. The reaction was thunderous. Over 68,000, myself included, hanging on every single moment as the curtain would lower on the Attitude Era. This year marks the first WrestleMania since the passing of the legend known as Hulk Hogan. I know as the legions of WWE fans descend upon Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas this weekend, the Hulkster's presence will be there.
To each and every one of those Hulkamaniacs, I love you and thank you very much.
Just as it was then, just as it is now, just as it always will be. The legacy of WrestleMania that Hulk Hogan helped build will forever endure. You know, I had the distinct honor to call one WrestleMania match of Hulk Hogan. It was back at WrestleMania 19, the night that Hulk Hogan squared off against Mr. McMahon. And I was honored to be able to say I had an opportunity to lend my voice to a Hulk Hogan match at the greatest spectacle in live entertainment. Back to you, Joe.
Michael, we're all honored that you're going to be with us here in just a couple hours to listen to your voice and the magnificence of the call that we will have today for WrestleMania 42. By the way, you know, just a beautiful scene the other day with Hulk's son Nick as that statue was revealed. It was quite emotional.
No, absolutely. The mark that he's left on this industry, absolutely indelible. Many of us don't even have the opportunity to sit here and do what we do without him. So to be able to honor him in that way, I thought was very, very fitting.
He was called the Immortal Hulk Hogan for a reason. Without him, it could be argued that none of this is the magnitude that it is today. So he will always be missed, and his presence will always be felt.
Well, the version of Michael that you just heard there is not the version you're going to hear in just a couple of hours, because it is coming up on ESPN2 in the first hour, as well as, of course, the ESPN map. And it may be the most outrageous match we see over the course of the next 2 days. It is an unsanctioned match between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, and WWE claims no responsibility for the superstar's safety. Of course, we have seen in recent weeks just how far Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu are willing to go.
Hope is a dangerous thing. Hope isn't imprisoned by our past, but it anchors the fool to false confidence. I hoped to walk into the main event of WrestleMania as undisputed WWE champion. But that beacon of hope was extinguished by Jacob Fatu. In the court of public opinion, Drew McIntyre is always guilty till proven innocent. Jacob has branded me as a scapegoat for his own indecisions. He's a menace to society. A dangerous criminal that should be locked away. Well, fear not, because come WrestleMania, justice will be served. It will be unrepented, unwavering, unsanctioned. Jacob will wish he was back behind bars.
Drew! You try to end my career? Man, you try to take food off my kids' tables. You did all that, but I'm still standing. And as long as I got air in these lungs, I'm gonna dog walk your punk ass. In this match, there are no rules. There is no one there to stop me. So at WrestleMania, you're in my world. Let's see if you'll make it out.
Hope can drive a man insane. But hope can be a good thing. Because my hope is finally putting Jacob in the ground for good. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
I'm standing by with Drew McIntyre. And Drew, I want to take you back to last night on SmackDown, where we heard from your opponent, Jacob Fatu, and Fatu made it abundantly clear he's ready for tonight's unsanctioned match, but there was also an overwhelming sense of calm to his words, which begs the question, do you think the mind games you've tried to play with Jacob maybe haven't been as effective as you wanted?
I've not been playing mind games. I've been doing what I always do, which is tell the truth. Plus, you can't play mind games with someone that's completely brainless. What was he said last night? Trying to get in a catchphrase like he always does. Sell 50 t-shirts, have 50 t-shirts, get a calculator, Drew, do the math. What does he know about math? What does he know about education? When I was at university getting an education, he was in frickin' jail. You know what degree he was in? Criminology. I learned about people like you. And I learned that most of them eventually reoffend, and you haven't stopped reoffending since you got out the joint, have you? No, stealing my title, stealing my main event at WrestleMania. You want a Mania moment so bad, buddy? I'll give it to you. I'm going to take every weapon in the building and beat you within an inch of your life. I'm going to do everybody a favor as well when I'm at it. When I take you out, it's not just for me. It's for the WWE roster. It's for our fans. It's for your wife. It's for your children. Because eventually, you're going to reoffend. You're going to hurt everyone around you because that's what you do, and you're going to end up back in the joint. I may not be the hero that everybody wants at WrestleMania. I'm the hero you need.
Thank you, Drew. Whatever does take place between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu tonight is sure to be a scene that is not for the faint at heart. Back to you guys at the panel.
Byron, thank you very much. All right, I mean, how much further can this thing go with Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu? We had a car crash. We saw them pulled through a windshield. They fell off of a building. There's been handcuffs. There's been the police car last night.
Where is this thing going, E?
Well, Tess, there's no parameters for this thing. It's unsanctioned. This is going to go, I think, in many ways, all over the building. We're probably going to see weapons we didn't even imagine. But I think these two have a lot to prove. Just 43 days ago, Drew McIntyre was a world champion, probably, I'm sure, believing he was going to defend that title in a big match at WrestleMania. And I think Jacob Fatu has talked about the fact that he went away for a little bit and I think lost some of that momentum that he had. So I think both of these guys are trying to prove they deserve to be at the very top of the card.
I agree with you. That's going to be the goal. My question is, who has the right mentality? Is it Drew McIntyre, who does seem to be, for all intents and purposes, under the skin of Jacob Fatu, at least more so than anybody that we've seen thus far in Fatu's WWE tenure? We heard last night Jacob Fatu say that my criminal past is behind me. That's not part of who I am anymore. If there is any semblance of that being still inside Jacob Fatu, tonight's the night to tap into it. Think of all of the things that Drew McIntyre's temper has cost him in his career. Tonight, that's encouraged. Drew McIntyre is looking forward to, he is salivating at the thought of bringing the fight to the Samoan Werewolf in an unsanctioned match. And tonight, there might be a silver bullet with Jacob Fatu's name on it in the form of a Claymore.
And for those new to this, you hear unsanctioned match. Listen, WWE is simply providing a referee so we can have a conclusion to this
That's
thing.
it. They're there to count the fall.
That is
Stop the
it.
fight.
There will simply be a ref so that this thing has an ending to it, a conclusion to get us a winner. Anything else goes with anything, anywhere, and WWE is not responsible for what happens as we continue on here on the countdown to WrestleMania 42, and it is becoming just an absolute scene here. We are under 2 hours to the 6-man tag and that unsanctioned match. And coming up, we reveal the top 10 celebrity moments in the history of Mania. There was Ali and Mr. T and so many, plus Cody Rhodes in that conversation. And guess who's coming your way, fans? Get ready! HBK, the living legend, is joining us here on the countdown to WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels, when we continue on here. Great to see you.
Hello, sir. How you doing? Hello, sir. How you doing? A pleasure. Hello there, young man. How you doing?
As WrestleMania took over Las Vegas, WWE joined forces with local organizations to give back and create unforgettable moments in the community. WWE superstars visited the Boys and Girls Club to unveil a renovated Superspace. Superstars spent time with service members at Nellis Air Force Base, celebrating their commitment to service. Through Make-A-Wish and Fanatics, families experienced WWE World. At the Circle of Champions event, 27 Wish Kids enjoyed a special venue and unforgettable superstar meet and greets. WWE also supported an ESPN and Special Olympics unified event, celebrating inclusion through sport. WrestleMania brought joy, connection, and lasting memories to kids and families across Las Vegas.
This contest is the special Iron Man match for the World Wrestling Federation Championship.
It transcended just a wrestling match.
The legendary Bret the Hitman Hart against the challenger, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Bret was the consummate technician, but to Shawn, it was his time.
To zip line from the top of an arena all the way down like that.
That is one of the most iconic images in all of WWE.
You know, waving to everybody and doing your stuff at the same time, you're singing the ring and all that, so I'm going over the match and stuff. It's a weird process.
Both of us were probably in the peak of our careers. 3 or 4 years ago, I said, this is going to be the guy that's going to try to take my spot.
There was a true animosity between Bret and Shawn.
Right now, in 1996, I can't believe that you are the best there is.
The man who wins the most decisions will be declared the World Wrestling Federation champion.
I wanted to have that badge of the guy that did an hour, and I thought Bret and I would be the two guys that are perfect to do that.
That time period, there's probably no two wrestlers that could do an hour match better than we can. And then it was just a question of like whether you can pull it off.
I waited so long for Shawn to become champion, to watch my hero accomplish his dream.
It was such a beautiful match. Every single move was perfect. It was an absolute masterpiece.
I'm more proud of the risk that he and I took and the belief in the company that they had on the two of us that we could do that.
Sharpshooter! Michaels trying to hang on!
At the end of the 60 minutes, no one had defeated anyone.
This match has been ordered to continue.
It's not over. Wait a minute. Michaels said he got it. He got all of it. Michaels got all of it. Michaels with a cover. The boyhood dream has come true for Shawn Michaels.
To me, it was a great way to pass the torch to Shawn.
It was wonderful, and I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. You find a great deal of joy in that moment because those were all the things that you get in this line of work for.
You want to watch great wrestling, you watch that Iron Man match. It's a clinic for any young wrestler.
You don't have to be a fan of wrestling and you can get caught up in that. That's just magic. It really is magic.
"30 years ago. Hey, WrestleMania. How about the legend joining us here? Shawn Michaels, HBK with us.
Shawn, I'm going to ask, I've got a question for you, Shawn, not to jump on you, Joe. Yeah. When you and Bret were in the ring, making magic at WrestleMania 12, did you have any idea that that matchup would have impact on generations to follow?
Well, I guess somebody like Bret, the way he was thinking at that time, he might have been able to think that way. I was thinking so day to day at that time in my life. You just never really thought about the long-standing impact that some of these matches might have had on people. I sit back all these years ago, or all these years later, and I'm very proud of so many, and that obviously being one of them. As I mentioned in that piece, I was more proud, I think, of the risk I felt we took in going an hour. It's one thing to have a wrestling match for an hour when the fans don't know that it's going to go an hour.
Right.
But they've got the, we've got the clock up. It's going 1 hour. You got to settle in and watch this thing. And said it before, and I'll say it again. No other guy other than Bret Hart I'd rather been out there with on that particular night, because he truly is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Shawn, we're glad you're with us here. Why don't you just settle in and join us for the Countdown Show here for a good bit. Join in the conversations. We're going to have many of them, including talking about debuts, Big E, because this is a WrestleMania where it's not completely the changing of the guard, but there is an influx
of new blood, of folks making their debuts like Javon Evans and Dragon Lee, J.D. McDonough, Trick Williams, Lash Legend, so many NXT stars that now here are at Mania. But this moment is huge when you make the debut.
Well, I was going to say, Sean, you must be so immensely proud because this crop of young men and women coming up from NXT, they're not just here to kind of fill out the card. They truly look like the future main eventers. And I'm not talking 10 years from now. I'm talking next year we might see Obafemi at the top of the card. Javon Evans, Trick Williams, the way that fans have taken them to, you hear the Oba chants. It is infectious, but what I love is we said goodbye to John Cena, to AJ Styles, to so many of these all-time greats, but then right off the heels of that, we got the next generation of stars. I am so excited to see Oba perform, to see Lash perform. So many incredible superstars are going to make their name here tonight and tomorrow.
Proud, so proud of the young men and women that come through the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Obviously, on this particular WrestleMania, Trick, Oba, Javon, and I guess I really want to put emphasis on Lash. I'm telling you, Lash Legend, we knew, look, you can just see when she walks in a room that she's something special. And all 3, 4 of these individuals, you could see had something. And you just wondered, all right, will they be as special as you believe they're going to be? And you know, sometimes when you get that excited about talent, you're really worried about getting disappointed. But I am so happy and honored to be able to say that these 4 that are going to debut at WrestleMania, I believe are going to be some of the most successful superstars of the future of the WWE.
Well, right now, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Talk to us a little bit about how it feels when you see that light bulb go off, when you can tell that the talents, these young guys and girls, are finally getting it. Is there a moment that you can look back on and say, that's when I knew, that's when I knew, that's when I knew?
Well, again, just as you know, I think Booker calls it the airport test.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
So all of them, as they came in the door, after recruitment, at the tryouts, you can see they're just special. They're unbelievable specimens, just on their own look and the way they carry themselves. You could see that they looked like they had real potential. Now, we've seen numerous people that had potential, but it didn't work out. The one thing that I'm so proud of, these individuals, every one of them was not afraid to be coached hard and work hard. Each and every one of them, they were all very different and unique in their own special ways. All of them, you had to coach them and teach them differently, but you could challenge them. They were grown men and grown women, and you could challenge them and test them and push them, and they always stood up to that. And that's what I guess I'm so proud of, because they withstood each and everything you threw at them. They handled it like pros, and then they moved on. And I'm telling you, the future of the WWE is in such good hands. I couldn't be more proud of what we're doing in NXT.
And that continues Tuesday nights, of course, 8 p.m. Everything that Sean is doing. You want to see the future stars. I know you got a big show this week as well. Tuesdays, 8 o'clock, NXT. All right, we've been asking you, what do you think are the top 10 celebrity moments in WrestleMania history? So, guys, let's waste no time. I think they had a blue ribbon panel that put this together here for the top 10 celebrity moments. And we're starting with breaking into the top 10. The very first one, you got Liberace, you had Cyndi Lauper, you had Muhammad Ali, and you had Mr. T in the main event with Hulk Hogan. Top 10 celebrity moment, number 10 was WrestleMania 1. And then how about WrestleMania 11 with Lawrence Taylor?
This is one of my fondest moments. I remember Salt and Pepper performing LT Out as well. It felt so massive, and Bam Bam, one of the greatest big men of all time.
WrestleMania 39 comes in at number 8, Corey.
Well, this one will certainly be better remembered than whatever Pat McAfee has in store for us tonight. But that's when the world got a glimpse of what Pat was capable of, and the Snoop D-O Double G, unfortunately at the expense of The Miz.
Butterbean is number 7, Sean.
Butterbean. He is the real deal. Absolutely everybody in the WWE found out you don't mess with Butterbean.
At that point in my young life, that was the hardest I'd ever seen somebody get punched.
Wow.
Bob Uecker at WrestleMania 4. Bob Uecker found out a little something when it came to Andre the Giant. Has dispensered Bob Uecker.
Just a little bit outside.
WrestleMania 33 and Rob Gronkowski, Big E.
I remember thinking Gronk might have killed Jinder Mahal right here.
Yeah.
When he hit him with the tackle. Thankfully, Jinder was okay.
We're going to take you back to Dallas for WrestleMania 38 and Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn.
I remember being there that night, and I don't believe AT&T Stadium was as loud as it was all weekend for when Wee Man body slammed Sami Zayn.
The late Pete Rose comes in at number 3 with Kane. How about a tombstone? WrestleMania 14 and 15. Bad Bunny and Priest, The Miz, and John Morrison, WrestleMania 30.
My God, what a show he put on. This man put the work in. He showed out. I was so impressed with what Bad Bunny did in my hometown of Tampa.
Did you really think, Sean, we were leaving this out? Did you really, Sean?
I would never let the truth get in the way of a great story. That's right. I took a punch from Mike Tyson and lived to tell about it.
You want street cred in Vegas? Not that you need street cred at WrestleMania, but you want street cred in Vegas? Knock out Mike Tyson, you got it.
Well, as the kids say today, 90s HBK was a menace.
Let's check in with Kathy Kelly. Kathy.
Well, guys, I am here with the man of the hour, the man kicking off WrestleMania in speed. I have talked to you after a lot of your significant moments here in WWE, but now I get to talk to you before your first WrestleMania match. How crazy is that?
I mean, it's crazy itself. Like, speed wrestling at WrestleMania. So, I mean, I couldn't even imagine telling my 8-year-old self this as a kid, that I'll be wrestling inside of a match at WrestleMania like this, but I just, you know, I feel like I'm at the point at the barrier where I just gotta give him all. You know, I just gotta do it. You know, I'm gonna be honest, I'm nervous. First match at WrestleMania. I don't even know how I even got into this, but
you're here, and that's what matters. Speaking of how you got into this, you've been trained by The Vision in Logan Paul and Austin Theory. How is that training going?
Hectic, very different. Logan and Theory they're very motivational, but I just hope everything goes well today. You know, the training was very crucial. The training was very different. Like, my body's still sore from the training, so I got to bring it out on here on the Mania with a sore body, so.
Well, I know you are very athletic and you've got a lot going on, including learning Mandarin. All you got to do is get that ER Sun and you get the win. So good luck today. And we also are going to send it over to The Miz, who has some very special news.
It's WrestleMania 42, and you can feel the electricity. So far, I've officiated weddings. I've hosted the WWE.
Hello! Sorry to interrupt your normally scheduled broadcast programming. WrestleMania countdown, I believe. But, hey, The Miz, how are you? I'm right above ya. Hello. You're still cursed, by the way. And Danhausen just want to say hello to the fanhousens of WrestleMania. And that, you know, love that Danhausen, because if you don't, you are cursed.
And it's streaming right now. So now that you have all the insider details, be sure to tune in. It's awesome!
Oh, Miz. Be a fan house, and everybody. Aerial coverage is brought to you by Goodyear. Legends aren't born, they're proven. Speaking of a proven legend, let's go back to Michael Cole.
Thanks a lot, Joe. You know, we're all looking forward to tomorrow night as well, WrestleMania Sunday, and the main event, I believe, one of the most hyped main events in history. We're the best in the world. CM Punk is going to defend the World Heavyweight Championship against the OTC, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. I had the opportunity earlier this week to sit down with Roman. I asked him a plethora of questions, including what happens if you lose.
There is something different about WWE when Roman Reigns is around. Do you feel it?
I've always felt that way. This is my family's business. It didn't always feel that way for everybody else. I think it took me a little while to get comfortable. It took me a little while to find my way, but when someone's meant to do something, when I don't like to use it because everybody says I was born for this. I was really born for this. It's not something that I just dreamed up. This is a stronger power than just my plans. This is God's plans. To put me and my family in this position, to have all of us in the same company, to be a part of this like 0.0001% fraternity, to be in the elite of the elite, you know, live performers. This is what I'm meant to do.
Let's talk about WrestleMania in general first. Over the past decade plus, you have made this your show. 11 main events, counting Sunday night. No one's close. Hulk Hogan had 8, considered one of the greatest of all time. What does it mean to you to be in the main event year after year after year?
Well, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that's my legacy. That's my MO. When I say, I used to yell at the twins all the time, you know what I mean? We're representing our family. Everything that we do, every breath we take is a representation of our legacy, of what we've done on this earth. So for me to have 11 WrestleMania main events, it's just something I'm extremely proud of. That's what I put on my mantle, to just sit there and remind me of how I represented our family at the highest level, to lift our legacy up, to lift the standard of performance, to dominate the scene, and to own the industry that my family is so heavily involved in.
So let's talk about Punk. 2012, The Shield, Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns debut at Survivor Series at the behest of CM Punk. What was it at that time that drew Roman Reigns to Punk?
Well, nothing drew me to Punk, let's just be clear about that. I thought he was a nice guy at the time. We didn't have all the information back then. He clearly didn't, you know, he didn't have me in mind for that group. It was the higher powers at the time that inserted me. So yeah, for like a week, maybe 2, he was cool, very cool. Let us ride on his bus from, you know, one town to the other. We were training together, and then out of nowhere, you know, and this is a business. It is what it is. What goes between you and the office is between you and the office, but you don't ever take it out on the boys. And he did what he always does. He put on that you know, that mask. He put on, you know, the shtick of, you know, being CM Punk. And then when times got tough, he took his ball and he went home, he ran.
Coincidentally, over that decade, we saw the emergence of Roman Reigns and then the Tribal Chief. Is that why it irks you so much that Punk returns to all this fanfare, calls himself the best in the world, yet he wasn't here and didn't go through what you had to go through?
Part 2 of that conversation will come on the Countdown to WrestleMania show on Sunday. Of course, on Sunday, it is the main event, the 11th career WrestleMania main event for Roman Reigns, the World Heavyweight Championship, CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Very good in-depth discussion with Michael Cole and Roman Reigns here as we continue on from just outside Allegiant Stadium. We are under 90 minutes to go from day 1 of WrestleMania. HBK with us and the crew. Let's continue this conversation on Roman Reigns, Sean. Where do you see Roman at this stage of his career?
So to me, it's amazing what Roman has built in his years here in the WWE. I think everyone sees him now as the OTC, and they act as if he has been that forever. It was an easy road for him, and that is simply not the case. The reality is Roman Reigns got put into a very tough situation very early in his career and struggled for a long, long time. And over time, he built this unbelievable resolve and legacy, and respectfully damn near all on his own. And I think we have a tendency to be dismissive of all those other years because we've gotten so accustomed to this version of the OTC and the tribal chief that feels so right. And he is a guy that, as he said, has literally dominated the main event scene at WrestleMania unlike anybody that's ever done it. And the clash between him and Punk is really, and I don't mean to diminish it, but it reminds me a lot of Brett and I as just two very different philosophies and mindsets about the way we approach this business. Because all that time that Punk was gone, and he was indeed making a point, and a valid point for himself that I absolutely supported him in. But at the same time, Roman Reigns took the reins of the WWE through this place on his back and has carried it for over a decade. And I have to be honest, this is a match that I am very excited about because this is, to me, kind of determines the future of where the WWE goes from here on out.
And which is interesting because you frame that up against the recent promo cut by CM Punk where he discusses how much he hates him, how much he envies him, 1,316 days as champion, and saying it was handed to you, counter to what Sean is saying. How do you frame it?
Look, handed to you is one way to put it. Roman was thrust in many ways into this position. And I think of him, thinking of the NFL draft that's coming up, it's a lot like a prospect who has all the tools, but he's a little raw. He hasn't played as many games. He doesn't have as much experience. So Roman was put into the spot of being the starter, of having to be the guy. And Sean, to your point, oftentimes I think fans discount when you're young. It is tough to be in there against Undertaker, Cena, some of the best of all time, and you have to put on an epic match. That's the expectation, and you're still in your 20s. You're still figuring it out. It took Roman some time to get that comfortability, but he's all the way there and has been all the way there for the last 6 years. He is a Roman Reigns who is fully realized, who is ready for this spot. And I think what I find interesting too is a lot of the discussion I saw online with Roman when we're talking about verbal barbs with these promos going back and forth with CM Punk was, is someone neutering him? Is someone telling him not to be able to go all in? And I wondered, is Roman as really as locked in as we think he should be? Then I saw that promo that he cut in the back of a car just a few days ago, and I said, oh, no, he's ready. This man is focused. He is laser sharp. I think he has a massive point to prove. It does feel in many ways like two opposite ideologies about how this business is done, and that's what I find so fascinating. But these guys, they're both ready for this spot, and I think they're going to put on a classic.
Corey?
Look, I've known both of these guys since Roman Reigns in the days in the FCW. I was back on the independents with CM Punk. To Sean's point, two totally different views of the business, what it should be, how it can be viewed. I think the best man wins. It sounds like an easy cop-out, but that's the fact.
Sean, great to visit with you.
And both of them are correct in their views of the paths that they've traveled. That's what makes this so compelling to me. I love it when everybody's right. And when those things come together, man, it's going to be fantastic.
Sean, you thought you were coming up for a little visit, a little interview, the 30th anniversary of the Iron Man. No, we put you to work. We make you a full analyst here for a long time with us, and it was great to have you.
Thank you very much.
HBK on WrestleMania 42. We got much more coming up here on the countdown to WrestleMania from just outside Allegiant Stadium. Look at this massive crowd coming over from the Strip. We're just over an hour away. We're going to be headed inside in just a little bit, but coming up next, we've got the legendary moments that we're going to add to as you look through the years of so many stars and so many memorable moments, including on a week like this when the Hall of Fame takes center stage, and then the Hall of Famers come to spend time with us throughout the weekend, and we are thrilled to have one of them with us. Recently retired and right into the Hall of Fame, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Congratulations, AJ. That was wonderful, man.
They're going to take your spot. Thank you.
You see the fans filing in to this area just outside Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Many actually heading inside. We'll be heading inside in a moment. First hour of WrestleMania 42 is available on ESPN2. Of course, the whole weekend is on the ESPN app. A weekend of such celebration in every aspect of the industry, including the Hall of Fame. And we welcome the newest member of the WWE Hall of Fame, AJ Styles.
Thank you.
How's that feel?
A little unreal, like especially when I look at my hand and there's this big ring on my pinky. Not because I expected to go on my pinky.
Let me take a look at this thing. I mean, you haven't even had this 24 hours yet. This is absolutely beautiful, very well deserved.
I see you shining.
Although I have to say, since you unfortunately lost to Gunther and ended your career here in WWE, I've seen more of you now than I did before that.
I know, it's weird.
And I love it. It's fantastic. What's the focus of AJ Styles now? Now that you've made it to the Hall of Fame, but obviously your contribution is still being felt.
Well, I mean, I'm hopefully going to find out, you know, the next talent, the diamonds in the rough that exist out there on the independents. I want to be a big part of that. I want to find them. I want to go. I want to recruit the best that we've got. So that still scratches that itch for wrestling for me.
I love that. And I love, too, you know, I feel like if anyone could have gone an hour, hour and a half with their speech last night, you deserve that opportunity. But you said, nah, I'm switching things up. I'm going to make sure it's nice and tight. What went into your decision to keep that a little bit more brief than a lot of people
Well,
say?
what's the one thing we've heard our whole career? Less is more. And so I've sat where you guys have sat. I know what it's like to be out there forever. You're tired. You just got out of a show with SmackDown. You know what? I'm going to make this short and sweet and at the same time let so many people know how much I love them and appreciate them. And if they remember one thing, at least it's that.
How does it feel, AJ, to be here at Allegiant Stadium, the same place we were last year for WrestleMania, at WrestleMania, but not an active part of the event itself?
It's weird. I mean, because it's WrestleMania. You know, so, but at the same time, man, I really enjoyed it. So maybe more because it wasn't the pressure of WrestleMania. There wasn't a match I had to focus on. All I got to do and all I needed to do was focus on my family and everyone else.
Guys, we're here at Countdown to WrestleMania. We're going to be joined now by ESPN.
Oh.
As we welcome everybody to Vegas, where big, bright, and bold is how it's done. And this is the weekend that every WWE moment funnels to. WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all. And what does Allegiant Stadium do for an encore on this beautiful sun-kissed day here in the desert? It's back-to-back years with this entertainment palace hosting WrestleMania. And it does so now with a 2-day card on ESPN and the ESPN app that tops them all. All the superstars have come out and arrived here as we're on the countdown to WrestleMania, including La Primera. Stephanie Vaquer is highlighting and in the spotlight today. There she is. She has worked incredibly hard to get to the top. Now she's opposite one of her most hated rivals, Liv Morgan. Of course, the guy who continues to create all the intensity for Mania is Paul Triple H Levesque. Last night saw his wife inducted into the Hall of Fame, and now the pressure of putting on this showcase of the Immortals. It is time to create the moments we will never forget. It is time for WrestleMania 42, the countdown.
We're seeing the greatest spectacle in wrestling history right now.
Hulk Hogan's gonna bury him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WrestleMania. Unbelievable dream has come true. This is the pinnacle of entertainment.
Oh my God. Oh man.
Wow.
Ooh.
I mean, my God. Let's see. Ooh.
I got a lot of them. When I
I think of WrestleMania, I think of Roddy Piper, Burt Reynolds, Aretha Franklin.
WrestleMania 9, Yokozuna versus Bret Hart.
WrestleMania 7, Macho King and Miss Elizabeth reconciling. A love story right in front of your face.
The end of an era match.
The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. You could literally feel the arena split in half. Goosebumps thinking about it.
When Brock Lesnar ended the Undertaker streak.
The streak is over.
It was definitely some tears in the house.
Hands down, WrestleMania 1, the main event, my father.
Cowboy Bob Orton. As WrestleMania makes history.
Andre and Hogan standing there in the middle of this huge stadium.
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
Just one of those iconic moments of wrestling history.
I remember being in Philly, how emotional it was.
Finish the story!
It was pandemonium. That was incredible.
WrestleMania is the top.
Biggest event of the year.
The greatest spectacle in the world.
The grandest stage of them all.
WrestleMania is magic.
It's one of those things that you dream about.
It's just like, whoa.
The one show that could change your life.
WrestleMania has gave a lot of people in the world hope.
That one moment, the entire world stops. That's it.
You're gonna be in for one hell of a night.
All gas, no brakes with WrestleMania.
It's WrestleMania, bro.
Is it ever, as it is an incredible scene here at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. We are just over an hour away from WrestleMania 42. And the matches representing this loaded card will start off with a six-man tag with I Show Speed, one of the biggest social media influencers, but an incredible athlete, joining Logan Paul and Austin Theory, the Vision, against the Usos and LA Knight. Jay and Jimmy have arrived here in Vegas to take care of business. That will be match number 1 on ESPN2. Of course, everything on the ESPN app. And the bus is here. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, at the conclusion of night 1, will defend the undisputed WWE Championship against Randy Orton. As we welcome you just outside this magnificent setting here for WrestleMania 42, Joe Tessitore alongside Big E, Corey Graves, and how about a hand for the new Hall of Famer, AJ Styles. Show everybody that ring right there. It is. I mean, that's a whole lot of diamonds to get on your hand. AJ, congratulations. Of course, you understand the unique pressures and excitement that come along with WrestleMania. This one feels big time, man. You can sense it.
It's always big. It is WrestleMania. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing bigger than wrestling. This is the Super Bowl of wrestling. So,
E, what's got you most excited as we're about to start day 1?
Look, I know we're going to get into the main event, but Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan has been so heated. It has gotten very personal. It has gotten very violent very quickly. I think these two women are going to put a show on tonight.
I cannot wait for the main event to unfold. Orton, Rhodes, over 20 years of history. But this all comes with a caveat. What does Pat McAfee mean when he says wrestling needs to be saved? WWE Universe, let me ask you, does wrestling need saving? It seems like it's in pretty good shape to us. Either way, I can't wait to see how this unfolds, because if Randy and McAfee leave Allegiant Stadium with the gold, who knows what this place looks like on Monday?
Listen, we had that conversation a little earlier on the Countdown show, but AJ wasn't with us when we had it. I would love to get your reaction to all this chaos we've seen in the last 2.5 weeks as Pat McAfee, of all people, has inserted himself into this championship storyline, the build of Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton.
I'm still trying to figure it out. Why does Randy Orton need Pat McAfee? Did he get bored sitting at home doing his podcast? I don't know what it is.
But there's another side of it, AJ, and I want your opinion here because this was something that Corey brought up. He's a disruptor, but he's also a distraction. It seems like so much of Cody Rhodes' attention in the last 2 weeks going into this championship match has been on Pat McAfee almost more so than Randy Orton. Does that play a factor?
Well, it's a distraction, right? Pat McAfee is the distraction for Randy Orton. Cody takes his off on Randy, gets blindsided by Pat. Who knows? Or vice versa. It's really, and when you think about it, it's really just stupid. How about that?
That's one way to put it.
We're going to carry you through for just over an hour before we get to the start of day one right here on ESPN2 and, of course, the ESPN app. You thought John Cena was done? Well, he is when it comes to in the ring, but he is going to be our host for WrestleMania. The never-seen 17, the greatest of all time. You will see him as the host of WrestleMania, and John Cena will present this card. Today alone, 4 title matches, and there are some incredible, intriguing reveals that are coming your way to see who walks out of here with gold, including the big one. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, the undisputed WWE Championship is the main event as we say hello to Peter Rosenberg for more in the latest on Randy Orton. Good afternoon, Peter.
Thank you so much, Tess. And listen, I was just listening to your conversation, and that sums up what's been happening. Pat McAfee this, Pat McAfee that. We cannot forget this is about Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton at the end of the day. And last night, Randy Orton made clear on SmackDown, the only thing Pat McAfee has done is open the eyes for Randy Orton on what he needs to do to accomplish his goal of that 15th, that historic 15th championship. So we can talk about all the other stuff, but at the end of the day, Randy Orton is solely focused on Cody Rhodes. Jackie?
Well, Rosenberg, it's interesting because over the last couple of weeks from the outside, it's looked like Cody Rhodes' sole focus has been Pat McAfee and not Randy Orton. But I talked to Cody this morning and he said that is no longer the case. And, you know, he was quick to point out something interesting. Cody said, Jackie, this keeps happening to me. Every WrestleMania since I came back to WWE, there's been all these external forces at play. But he said what he's learned from those experiences is that the best thing Cody Rhodes can do for Cody Rhodes is turn that focus inward on what he can control and what it's going to take to defeat the likes of the legend killer himself, Randy Orton, and further cement his own legacy in WWE. So Tess, Cody essentially said, it's on me tonight.
It is, Jackie. The pressure is on Cody Rhodes tonight to defend that undisputed championship. Let's get into the timeline, the history of Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. So much has been made about the last 2 weeks and the insertion of Pat McAfee that everybody forgets the last 2 decades and how much the careers are intertwined between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. 2 decades of history, starting back in 2007 with Cody's debut losing to Randy Orton when he got going here. But it is interesting how this build has gone about to understand 2 decades boiled down to about 2+ weeks of total chaos.
No, absolutely. And I'm so glad we're spending more time actually talking about Randy Orton because at one point it seemed like the match was actually Cody Rhodes against Pat McAfee. And we got this whole legend killer, one of the greatest to ever do it. We forgot that that's who Cody is in the ring with. So I think in many ways, Cody's concern has been too much about Pat and that possibility. I think he needs to be more laser focused on this massive, 6'5", 285-pound man who he's going to be standing across the ring from, who is truly one of the best to ever lace up boots.
But has that been the plan since the beginning? Is that what Pat McAfee is here to accomplish? So Cody's attention is split, and Randy Orton can sit back, he can sit coiled, and strike when the time is right. We know Randy's got the tools, we know Randy's got the experience. If anybody can dethrone the American Nightmare, it's Randy Orton.
But does Randy need that? Does he have that? Randy could stand on his own against anyone in the world.
Let's ask AJ.
Can I jump in on this?
Please do.
Man, it's Randy Orton.
Thank you.
Maybe Randy's just using Pat McAfee, and then once he's done with Pat, he can RKO him too. I don't know. It's Randy Orton.
And it's 2 decades of history that we were mentioning here. The timeline with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Of course, Cody Rhodes, 12 WrestleMania matches, 3 times a world champion. He's trying to retain that status. The signature moment came at WrestleMania 40. And then there is the Viper. 21 WrestleMania matches, a 14-time world champion, a man who, if he wins today, gets number 15, and he would be all alone in 3rd place all-time in WWE history. You see the history between these. We mentioned Cody's debut match was, as they have woven through all the years to arrive here. It's not easy for Cody Rhodes to be QB1, as he likes to term it. He shared all of it with us and sat down recently to discuss it.
2022, WrestleMania. It was your triumphant return to WWE. Since then, 4 straight main events against iconic rivals. How do you possibly describe your relationship with the Show of Shows?
I'll use a term that I heard Sami Zayn use backstage. Golden Boy. I can only say it with confidence because of my relationship with the Show of Shows before I came back to WWE, where I was the furthest thing from that. To come back and to main event WrestleMania and then to main event WrestleMania again, as far as pro wrestling and sports entertainment goes, that's the hardest thing to get. It makes it a very special event. Yeah.
Cody, this year you returned to Las Vegas on the big stage against a guy who, for the better part of 2 decades, has been considered your dear friend, Randy Orton. A guy who believed in you when few did. How do you reconcile that with the emotion of recent weeks of him being a guy who left you in a pool of your own blood?
I don't think you can reconcile. I thought I'd get the opportunity for the guy I had my first match on WWE TV with to look at me and see me. For him to see me and know, oh, he's a totally different animal. And not only that, he's gonna beat me. The Randy Orton that you're seeing now will do anything to get to 15. So again, you can't reconcile that.
Randy has reconnected with those voices in his head in a way like we've never seen. You said you wanted that version of Randy Orton. Do you regret that at this point?
2009 Randy Orton keeps being referenced. I was there in 2009. I saw everything that he did. I saw the stuff that we cannot put on television today because it was so bad. I would need Randy Orton to be the very best he's ever been for this to be a WrestleMania main event, and it sure is.
Cody, I want to talk about Pat McAfee.
Oh. Pat McAfee, being the guy that Randy Orton was talking to on the phone, is the most disappointing reveal in the history of pro wrestling.
The business that you're leading is terrible.
What I would say to Pat McAfee,
He is gonna save the business.
why don't we get you one of these Fanatics titles, right? Get him down, let him do an entrance, make a whole big thing, we'll chant his name, and then he can go back to whoever sent him and he can say, thank you, Daddy. And we can be done with this. Pat, you've given me a gift because for the first time in the centuries that the sport of pro wrestling has existed, everyone can agree on one thing. No one wants Pat McAfee at WrestleMania.
Cody, Randy Orton says, you're not a killer.
Hey, I know it's your interview, but what's a killer? Is Randy Orton saddling up with Pat McAfee, jumping people from behind? Does that make you a killer? No. Randy's as fake as he's ever been. I have no problem matching him at the lengths that he's willing to go. I've been here before. I'm not worried about it.
Cody, this is now 3 straight years where your road to WrestleMania has been incredibly influenced and affected by outside forces. Is this just the price of being QB1, or is there something far bigger going on when it comes to all of this?
If you choose to be a Cody Rhodes fan during WrestleMania season, this is what we do. This is what we do. We thrive in this environment. I'd like to think that this is just part of it, that it comes with the territory, and I'm not the first person who's encountered this. But, you know what? No. No. I have to be ready for Randy Orton. That's who I'm wrestling at WrestleMania 42. In the main event, I'm not wrestling any outside forces. It boils down to us 2 men and who's better.
Whole lot of noise surrounding tonight's main event between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, but at the end of the day, it comes down to 20 years of history. It is about legacy, and it is about Cody Rhodes attempting to defeat the legend killer, Randy Orton, who is chasing history of his own. It is a match the WWE Universe is very, very excited about, and we are now less than an hour away from WrestleMania 42 getting kicked off here inside Allegiant Stadium as fans file inside the stadium. And still to come on the countdown to WrestleMania, Seth Rollins is taking on Gunther after a surprise vicious attack a couple of weeks ago. We'll still talk about Liv Morgan as she takes on Stephanie Vaquer, and we hear from Triple H.
Finish the sentence for me. At the end of Sunday night, I've done a good job if.
Fans that were sampling it for the first time went, holy shit, that's not what I remember wrestling to be. I've got to tune in now.
countdown to WrestleMania as we continue on now inside Allegiant Stadium. Joe Tessitore, Big E, and Corey Graves with you.
We are finally inside Allegiant Stadium where all the magic is going down. WrestleMania weekend has officially begun. Big E, Joe Tess, the atmosphere inside this place is unbelievable.
And I love this time where you feel the energy slowly starting to build. The fans start filing in. There's nothing like that hour right before everything kicks off.
And building to WrestleMania is a massive, massive chore. The promotional announcement of making the matches is one thing, but the artful crafting, the long-term planning to turn a day like this, a weekend in this, to a masterpiece. Well, that comes down to one man and his team. A man tasked with that is one of the very best to ever do it in the ring. Paul Triple H Levesque sat down with us to share his thoughts.
In sports, there's a long-standing thought that, oh, you know, maybe a great player will go on to be a great coach or a great leader and be able to coach or lead or organize, be a general manager, president. That has typically not worked out in pro sports. Why do you think it's clicked for you and it hasn't for others in other industries, in other sports of, hey, I was great at this, but I understand how to do this as well?
You know, for whatever reason, very, very early in my career, I sort of have a relationship with Vince around sort of creative. And he asked me to start coming to production meetings. And then I know that he told, you know, Pat Patterson, like, teach him. Mm-hmm. I know he told Jack Lanza, teach him. I was just lucky to be in a place where I had all of that sort of shaping me and molding me, and I was really interested in it. So my desire to learn those things was intense. And at the time, I had no idea that eventually I would get into the role I am. That was the furthest thing from my mind.
It opens the door for us to get through some of the matches at WrestleMania that I want your thoughts on here. The Women's World Championship with Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan. What do you think each of them is looking to prove with this spot?
Stephanie, who, when you talk about young, new talent, right? She's gotten so good, so fast, so quickly put into that spot. People forget she just got here.
You're absolutely right. You think of her as a veteran almost just because of what she's accomplished in the past year.
And she just got here.
Yeah.
The grind was finding the places to go do this and then learning. Liv, different path. And at first is just seen as, she's the eye candy, that's all she's ever gonna be, but is hell-bent on becoming, no, I'm gonna be so much more than that. I'm gonna be one of the greats that this business has ever seen. And she has dedicated herself to that for the last decade. Two different paths, but at the same moment in time. Stephanie trying to prove that she truly belongs in a place where, as funny as that sounds, because she's world champion, Liv Morgan is trying to prove that she belongs at the I'm a great in-ring performer level.
Right.
Not just eye candy level.
Let's have the Cody and Randy conversation.
Yeah.
Because obviously they have an incredible shared history. What do you feel that this means to each man's legacy?
For Cody, this is probably the most personal battle he's had since being back in WWE, right? Like, I'm sure Cody sat in a car with Randy Orton thinking, man, if I can ever get big enough to be facing him in a ring at WrestleMania or something like that, now here it is. To the personal standpoint of all the things that they have been through and as close as they have come, they now are going to step in the ring on the biggest platform possible, but it's incredibly personal and they both have something to prove. Randy is going to prove that after all these years, all the accolades, everything, he still can live up to them. Cody's got to prove that after all the build of the last 3 years, if he wants to be QB1, these are the things that QB1 has to be able to do. Carry these kinds of moments at WrestleMania and make them as big as possible. They've both got something to prove here in a completely different way, but it's going to make, when people have something to prove like that, it raises all ships up to the highest of levels, and they're going to do that with each other.
Finish this sentence for me. At the end of Sunday night, I've done a good job if.
Our most ardent fans think that was amazing. And fans that were sampling it for the first time, and I weigh this in equal measures, I will mostly feel successful if there are a lot of those people that went, holy shit, that's not what I remember wrestling to be. I've got to tune in now. I've got to start watching this on a regular basis because this is a spectacle. This is an energy level. This is drama and excitement and energy that I can't get anywhere else. And if we can deliver that to both sets of people equally, then we win.
And this is the arrival of Gunther. Well, Triple H knows as well as anybody knows what this man is capable of. Of course, it became such a mainstream storyline beyond sports and entertainment, just in American culture with what he did with John Cena back at the end of last year, the final match of John Cena's career. And now here is Gunther with Seth Rollins returning in a match, guys, that really has been described as the ultimate wrestling fans match.
This is the vision for the future. We need to create a vision of the future.
Never had a choice.
I created the vision, and I will be the one to kill the vision. If you stand next to Paul Heyman, consider yourself marked for death.
Heart is pounding up my chest, the blood boils inside of me. Looking at the walls around me, closing in, I think, what's it gonna be?
Gunther has entered into some sort of business relationship with Paul Heyman.
You owe me so much more than a thank you.
If it is your intention to be a shield for Paul Heyman, you have made it very personal.
Whole house packed, not here to make friends. Do or die moment, I love it this tense.
For years, you strut around here, acting like you're the best. You're not the best. I am.
Never had a choice, never let the odds win. Calm them nerves, got the whole world watching. Ready, set, go, and there ain't no stopping. Got one option, light it up. Everything.
I will show you you're not as good as you think you are.
So that is coming your way right here, Saturday of Mania. The tale of the tape, you size up Rollins and Gunther. Obviously, incredibly impressive resumes, but these styles meeting up. We discussed this, a fight fans fight, a wrestling fans wrestling match.
This is a true dream match. Two of the absolute best professional wrestlers walking the planet Earth. Seth Rollins, tons of WrestleMania experience, such to a degree that he has recently referred to himself as this generation's Mr. WrestleMania. But what more can we say about the ring general, the career killer Gunther? This truly is, technically speaking, two of the best in the game for decades. I cannot wait.
Hey, you know what's wild? We're more than 2 hours into this pre-show. This is the first time we're talking about this match. This match has the possibility of being a generational match. Two incredible talent. And to your point, I love the fact that this is just Gunther saying, hey, I think you dodged me when you had the title. I want the smoke. And I love that. It's just that. I want the smoke.
Corey, there are always matches on a WrestleMania card that aren't necessarily the main event. They aren't necessarily the championship event. That you just get the sense you walk away from saying, this is what we're talking about. Could this be the one?
We're here for hot takes and bold predictions, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. I have a feeling that 1 year from now, if not longer, people will be talking about about Seth freaking Rollins and Gunther at WrestleMania in Las Vegas. That is how talented both of these men are. It doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't matter who loses. These are two of the best in the game. They have more tread left on the tires. This could be the beginning of one of the greatest rivalries in WWE.
You mentioned we're over 2 hours into this countdown show, and this is the first we bring it up. That speaks to how loaded this card is. The other side of that is we're only 39 minutes away from WrestleMania going on day number 1.
It's about to go down. I feel that excitement building. I feel the energy building. We're just mere moments away, and I think we're really going to get some real culture shifting, industry shifting moments here tonight.
Well, speaking of moments over the course of the past year when it comes to Gunther, are the moments that some legends would like to forget because he has retired legends. Last summer, we were in Atlanta when Gunther was in there with Goldberg, and that was Goldberg's final match. Of course, the biggest final match you can possibly have in the industry took place in Washington, D.C. just this past December against John Cena. And moments ago, we visited with the newly inducted Hall of Famer, AJ Styles. His final match came just this January against Gunther, and now this is the label that Gunther carries.
Look, this man is a menace. He is someone who ends careers. When he holds titles, he holds them for 400 days, 600 days. I don't think we've ever seen anyone quite like Gunther, honestly, in WWE.
I agree. Pound for pound, I think Gunther is my favorite professional wrestler walking the earth today. But you know who disagrees with that? The man he's stepping in the ring with tonight, Seth freaking Rollins, who believes in his heart he is the best professional wrestler in the business today. Tonight is a proving ground for both men.
And look, Seth is one of the most experienced superstars we have in WWE, but I don't think he's ever met anyone as hard-hitting as Gunther. He's going to give him a test unlike anything he's ever seen before.
If this matchup's too close to call, I could not pick a winner with any sort of honesty. I'm going to say it's going to come down to which of these two men can be absolutely perfect tonight, because that's what it's going to take to topple the other, perfection.
Remember, that's going to be on the ESPN app. The whole weekend's on the ESPN app. Right here on ESPN2, the first hour of WrestleMania, day number 1. It's got that unsanctioned match, Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. There's been so much chatter about what is happening with our women that go today. The Women's World Championship match, Liv Morgan and Stephanie Becerra. It has been boiling over with the heat and intensity surrounding it. Of course, the Undisputed Championship, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton will top the day live here in Vegas.
This is the greatest spectacle in sports entertainment, the grandest stage of them all, and we are closing in on just being a half an hour away from WrestleMania 42 here at Allegiant Stadium. For the full experience of this event, this palatial venue, we get to Peter Rosenberg and the entire team. Peter?
Tess, thank you so much. I am walking into gorilla position, named, of course, after the great Gorilla Monsoon, where he used to sit. This is where all of our superstars will start their walk to WrestleMania greatness. Legends, this year, many rookies and newcomers for the first time will walk out and see this stage for the first time. It is beautiful. The set is incredible, as you've already seen. Think about it, guys. This Thursday, Fernando Mendoza will become a member of the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know if he can make this throw, but I'm going to toss it now 75 yards down to Kathy Kelly.
75 yards, and you know I walk down this ramp. That in itself is an athletic feat. These guys are in for some cardio ahead of their matches, but I was a fan at WrestleMania 31 in San Jose. I remember what it was like to sit out there. You go through all of the emotions, elation, anger. You're sobbing when someone realizes their dream. And the person that has the best seat in the house for that, let's send it over to Byron Saxton.
Indeed, look, there's tremendous seats all over Allegiant Stadium, but things hit differently when you're sitting in the front row. This is like the unofficial WWE immersive experience. Imagine this. Gunther is about to deliver that savage chop to Seth Rollins. If you're seated in the front row, you may very well see the beads of sweat popping off the chest of Seth Rollins. Or how about the unsanctioned match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, which most likely will spill out of the ring, perhaps right here, where the front row fans will experience a 3D version of WrestleMania. So I think it's safe to assume that the fans seated here are going to experience memories that are gonna last a lifetime. Jackie Redmond, where are you at?
Well, Byron, I'll tell you what, those seats are the best seats in the house for about 99% of the show. But when WrestleMania 42 kicks off in about 31 minutes time, let me tell you something, the money seats are gonna be right here, because this is where Jimmy and Jey Uso will make their entrance. And if you don't know, they have one of the most electric entrances in WWE today. So when you hear Usos, you're immediately out of your seat. And if you're not, let me just tell you right now, you are doing it wrong. They have one of the best entrances in WWE, and I have a feeling every single person in Allegiant Stadium will be on their feet the second that music hits. It's all gonna happen right here in this exact aisle.
No doubt about it, Jackie, and folks that have those aisle seats are going to find their faces on global television, possibly going viral as the Yeets will be put forth here in Vegas. Look at this massive set here for WrestleMania 42. Of course, Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer will battle for a championship today.
You get to step in the ring with the Liv Morgan.
Morgan pick for WrestleMania. Oh! I think we have our answer.
Liv, todo te lo ha dado WWE. El mejor entrenamiento, el mejor servicio médico. Tienes todo. You have privilege. Yo nací en Chile, un país donde no existía la lucha. Tú no has sacrificado nada. Y ahora que he viajado por todo el mundo, construí mi propio camino. I made my own path.
Stephanie Vaquer wins the championship!
Te escondes detrás de una basura de hombre y envías a tus amigos a hacer el trabajo sucio por ti. You don't know a thing. One thing you were right about is I am privileged. I'm sorry that I got signed to WWE when I was 20 years old and you got rejected your first tryout. And do you know why all that happens to me? Because I am a star. If you want to play dirty, I will play dirty. De donde yo vengo, ni siquiera lo verás venir.
Stephanie
Vaquer. Where I come from, it's on sight. At WrestleMania, I'm going to give you the privilege of your life.
Bienvenida a mi infierno, Liv Morgan.
Listen, everybody's looking forward to this. It would be one thing if it was alone this different roads take that's inspiring Stephanie Vaquer. But then the build to this championship match took a very different turn with what came out of Liv Morgan's mouth recently when she made it extremely personal with the family attacks of Vaquer.
Absolutely, not just the family, but you could argue she made some comments that I think crossed the line. You're talking, about her home country and
Yes.
mud huts and things that were definitely they should not have been said. But when all that's said and done, when these two get in the ring, I think this thing is going to be so physical. They're bringing a lot of animosity. I think Stephanie Vaquer is someone who still, to some, has something to prove in the fact that she has an incredible career. She's done so much, but she hasn't really run the gauntlet of really being in the ring with the Four Horsewomen, with Liv Morgan, with all the best. She hasn't yet because she's still fairly new to WWE. So this is really a big test for her. Can she get it done against the likes of Liv Morgan, someone who's already been a world champion here in WWE?
I agree with you wholeheartedly, E, regarding Stephanie Vaquer, but I would say this. The person that Stephanie Vaquer needs to prove the most to is herself. La Primera has scratched and clawed for every opportunity she's been given that she has earned in this business. She has finally reached the pinnacle. Liv Morgan's been here before. We've seen Liv Morgan at the dance before. Liv's usually had some help. We've seen Roxanne Perez. We've seen Raquel Rodriguez. This is going to be one-on-one tonight. And I think Stephanie Vaquer rises to the moment and really solidifies her legacy as one of the greatest women's wrestlers in WWE.
So that's the Women's World Championship. Plus, we have the Women's Tag Team Championship match that comes with elite talent across the board. The Hall of Famer, the Bella Twins, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Bayley and Lyra, all trying to unseat the irresistible forces Nia Jax and Lash Legend, who everybody says is one of the breakout stars in the entire industry.
I think Lash Legend and Nia Jax have peaked at the right time. On the road to WrestleMania, we've seen how many skirmishes and melees between the other three teams over the past several weeks. How does it seemingly end every night? With Nia and Lash standing tall in the center of the ring, physically dominant champions that aren't going to lose tonight.
The big question mark for me is, so I got a chance last night to interview the Bellas, and I see Nikki Bella walk up in a walking boot.
Yes.
Is she going to be someone who's healthy? I asked her point blank, are you going to be ready for WrestleMania? She said, I will be by my sister's side. I will be there. I am ready. It is hard for me to believe that she's going to be able to jump out of that walking boot and put on a show here tonight. So that is my question. What do the Bellas, what kind of chance do they have here tonight? Because it's not just a conventional tag team match, which would be difficult enough, but they're also in the ring with, let's not forget, Bayley. We don't talk enough about Bayley, about her legacy, about how good she is being teamed with Lyra, also having to deal with Charlotte as well, the most decorated woman who's ever stepped foot in WWE.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I talked about Becky Lynch being one of the first women to ever main event WrestleMania. You got to throw Charlotte Flair in that conversation as well. I mean, you talk about high pressure, high stakes, that's where the queen exists.
Alexa Bliss, all those world titles as well.
Yeah, future Hall of Famers. Our cameras are catching up with Charlotte and Alexa. Of course, you can't have a WrestleMania without the queen. Charlotte Flair, there she is with Alexa Bliss, the 14-time world champion, the recent tag team champion, Charlotte and Alexa. Much more still to come here as we are closing in on WrestleMania day number 1. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, the ultimate showdown that Pat McAfee has become a disruptor of.
The ESPN app is home to WrestleMania 42 and every WWE Premium live event. If you want to be there for the biggest moments, you'll need the ESPN Unlimited plan. To sign up, go to the link below, or if you have ESPN from one of these providers, ESPN Unlimited is included at no additional cost. Just head to activate.espn.com and follow the steps to get set up. Then, sign into the ESPN app and you're in. WrestleMania and the biggest WWE premium live events, all in one place, anytime, anywhere.
It is a magnificent sun-kissed day here in Vegas, where aerial coverage is brought to you by Goodyear. Legends aren't born, they're proven. This is a day in the sports entertainment industry when legends are often forged and made, and massive crowds will come from all over the world just to experience it. Day one at WrestleMania, you see these matches in front of you. They are available on the ESPN app. Of course, the entire weekend is on the ESPN app, but the first hour is also available right here if you're watching us on ESPN2. That will include the social media sensation IShowSpeed, who's an outrageous athlete, joining Logan Paul, Austin Theory to go up against the Usos in LA Knight, and perhaps what could be the most violent match of the entire weekend, the unsanctioned match, Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. This entire Saturday leads to one thing, and that is determining who will be the undisputed WWE champion at the end of the night. Cody Rhodes, the self-labeled QB1, the man with the gold, going up against the Viper, Randy Orton, and the ultimate disruptor of recent weeks that he is aligned with, Pat McAfee. Rhodes versus Orton, your main event on WrestleMania night number 1.
You know, I always watched the relationship between Triple H and Randy. Triple H was Randy's mentor. They became opponents. The relationship wasn't as cozy. And I always thought, I don't know if that's how I want to be one day with Randy Orton, my mentor. And in the case of Randy, I don't think it will be that way. I don't think it will be that way.
I'm not your son and I'm not your brother, but I have always been proud to be your boy. And after the main event of WrestleMania, I want you to know, I will always love you.
It's not personal between Cody and I. I want my legacy to be how much gold I have put around my waist.
Here I find myself in a pool of blood, sitting in a home I built below the God above.
Don't let that monster in. I just don't understand why you're fighting so hard to go back to being a version of yourself you've already beaten. I don't know if it's the voices in your head. I don't know if it's somebody in your ear. Now break the... I don't even think I know this version of you, man.
Cody said that I could listen to the voices. He said I could be the Viper. What you have woken inside of me, there's no putting back to bed.
Randy Orton, I am hearing those voices inside my head, finally!
There is one person outside of my head whose voice I am listening to.
Pat McAfee?
The business that you're leading is terrible! Randy is gonna save this business!
This is what this business is supposed to look like.
Pat, you and everyone who represents you can kiss my ass!
Cody walks right up onto the stage to ruin our set. Guess what Cody wears at WrestleMania in Las Vegas? Randy saves the business.
And now we get here with Cody Rhodes, the 3-time world champion. The guy who finished his story at WrestleMania 40. Oh, the chapters that have been written since then. And Randy Orton, the future Hall of Famer. The man who's trying to win number 15 tonight and take possession of 3rd place all by himself on the all-time list. And the 2-decade journey they've been on, Corey.
If you've been a WWE fan for any period of time, you've known the backstory, all of the history between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. I myself personally was over the moon excited at Elimination Chamber when Randy was able to win, and we knew we would finally get this long anticipated showdown.
Big E,
insert Pat McAfee.
Yeah, exactly.
Who adds an entirely different dimension. I don't think wrestling needs saving. Look at this place. It looks pretty healthy to me.
It does, doesn't it?
With that said, if anybody is built to be WWE champion, it could very well be Randy Orton.
You know, I'm so glad you brought that up because we feel like we are so far past the whole older brother, younger brother, student, teacher, mentor comments that you heard in that piece Cody mentioning. The last 2.5 weeks alone feels like it has usurped nearly 20 years of what we've been framing.
Right, and this thing has been brewing for quite some time now. I remember about a year ago on Cody's previous World Championship reign, I remember all those little looks where Randy was, as his friend, he'd be side-eyeing that title.
Yes.
He was looking over because, look, Randy Orton, I always ask, what's your why? What is your reason? Randy is chasing all-time greatness. That list of most world title reigns in WWE history, he's right there. He's just a few more reigns from the very top. And I think Randy Orton, when I try to think of what is his motivation, why Pat? I think he's like, let's stack the deck as much as possible. Let's get everything we can in our corner. And one of the things I find really interesting is, so Cody had this interview with Sports Illustrated, and he talked about the fact that the last 3 years, his path to WrestleMania was looking real smooth, and then there were certain higher-ups, certain moneyed people, certain decision makers who stepped in, and then things went left, they went right. I'm intrigued to see if Cody is too focused on all those other things and not focused enough on Randy Orton.
You know, he brings it up time and again of how difficult it is to be a Cody Rhodes fan this time of the year. We just had this conversation about the history that Randy Orton could make today. He is currently tied with Triple H with 14 world championships. Of course, John Cena a year ago broke the tie with Ric Flair at WrestleMania. He's the never seen 17, and there's Randy Orton at 14. Now, we don't expect all of you to have been with us for 3 hours of this countdown, but earlier today, one of the primary conversations we were having is the role that Pat McAfee could play today. Pat McAfee, a disruptor, a distraction, a guy who has siphoned so much of the focus seemingly and energy seemingly of Cody Rhodes. What role, Corey, do you expect Pat McAfee to play today?
That remains to be seen. I genuinely don't know. I have no doubt Pat will play a role of some sort, whether that's Barnacle trying to latch onto a history maker like Randy Orton, or game changer, because like him or not, Pat McAfee knows what's good for Pat McAfee's business. And if somehow something can be done tonight to benefit him and his show and his universe that he's building out, and it takes Randy Orton to get the job done, Pat's gonna pull the trigger. Make no mistake about it.
If I'm Cody Rhodes, I'm less worried about what Pat can do to me physically and more concerned about what he can do mentally. What are the games? What are the distractions? How can he get my eyes off of my actual opponent, this legend killer that has all these world titles under his belt? I think that is the concern. What does Pat do to distract and just, I think the concern is, you know, Cody mentioned not just you, Pat McAfee, but the people who represent you. There's a lot of talk about the people who Pat is connected with as well. Do they come into play here tonight?
Listen, I was on Get Up 2 weeks ago when all this went down. I turned to Greeny, and Greeny put this forth. I said, we're going to get the tin foil for your head. All the conspiracy theories that are coming out. However, as the weeks have gone on, even Pat McAfee himself is talking about the people upstairs, the big bosses, having conversations. Last night we saw that again. And it starts to really frame things as, is this now turning into Pat McAfee and Randy Orton and a new order of corporate business compared to Cody Rhodes, who you saw last night with CM Punk, and the hard way up and respecting the industry of pro wrestling?
Like, I'm old school. I come from the same mentality as Cody Rhodes. Like Cody's father, Dusty, one of my greatest mentors. Same with CM Punk. Listen, I think the business is in a very precarious position tonight because of the existence of Pat McAfee.
And the inclusion of CM Punk makes me think that this thread is also something that's going to carry over into tomorrow as well. I think what happens here tonight can have great, massive ramifications on what happens tomorrow as well.
When have you ever known me to hold my tongue? Never. I've been really nice today.
And by the way, a reminder, as you know, the entire weekend is on the ESPN app. So that championship match, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, is available on the ESPN app. But for those of you watching right here on ESPN2, the first hour today is on ESPN2, and it has one of the buzziest matches of all, the unsanctioned match. Plus, we're going to begin, and this is now just within moments, the 6-man tag. LA Knight and the Usos going up against Logan Paul, Austin Theory, the Vision with I Show Speed. Let's go to Jackie Redmond.
Tess, thank you so much. This match is so intriguing to me because when you look at it, how can you possibly predict the outcome? On one side, you've got the Usos and LA Knight who have decades on decades on decades of experience. And on the other side, you know, you've got Logan Paul and Austin Theory who are relatively early in their careers by comparison. And I Show Speed, who's never had a real WWE match. We're not going to count him getting speared and almost killed at the Royal Rumble. That doesn't count. But we see in sports often, right? A rookie goaltender gets called up, they tend to go on a hot streak because nobody's got the book on them yet. Well, I Show Speed, there's no book on him. Will the Usos and LA Knight be able to take advantage of that, or is that wild card nature more of an advantage for the Vision? We'll see. I have no idea what to expect from this one, Rosenberg.
I completely agree with you, and obviously we spend a lot of time talking about the pressure of the main eventers at WrestleMania, but make no mistake, there's a lot of pressure on the curtain jerkers, the people who first walk out to greet that crowd for the first time, and that is exactly what the Vision and I Show Speed are going to do here today. All three members, Austin Theory, Logan Paul, and I Show Speed, just walked by me like 3 minutes ago. And I can tell you, I heard earlier in the day, I Show Speed was quite nervous, visibly so in his interview earlier with Kathy. He seemed more calm right now. Logan Paul was the guy who looked incredibly serious and focused. We'll see if they're ready to respond when the show starts. Tess?
Peter, let's take you back to recent weeks and explain to people how I Show Speed ended up in WrestleMania. He picked up the brass knuckles.
Well, those brass knuckles were originally in possession of Logan Paul's mother, which allowed this to unfold and shock not only the tag team champions, but the entire WWE universe. Then Logan Paul would shove Speed into LA Knight. Speed didn't seem to be interested in conflict at the moment, but found plenty of it anyway because LA Knight suffered a defeat at the hands of Austin Theory, with the assist going to, willing or not, I Show Speed.
Let's get into this conversation because there may be some of you out there saying, why is a social media influencer in here? I Show Speed is a legit athlete. For those of you who follow, you understand athletically, but those around WWE just in recent years have seen it, and in recent weeks, because after accidentally getting involved here, he's gone into training.
Oh, he's in the thick of things now. Look, he is truly a very, very gifted athlete. You could tell he had some nerves. We had that interview in the last hour. I think he's going to be someone who is ready for this moment. Maybe not fully ready as a lot of us WWE superstars, but I think he's going to show it. I think he's really going to put on quite the performance. But let's not forget about the other side of things as well. The Usos, I think, have a ton to prove. Like I said previously, Jey Uso last year was winning world championships right here in this very same building. And now he's in a six-man. So is he going to be someone who is a little bit deflated by that, or is he someone who has something to prove here tonight?
Let me handhold you one more time for what's going to happen here. We are just a matter of moments away from kicking off day number 1 of WrestleMania 42. It'll be the 6-man tag team. It'll be the Usos. And LA Knight, look at them. They're warming up. They're getting ready here just behind us in Allegiant Stadium against I Show Speed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. Remember, the first hour is going to be on ESPN2 as well as the app. Then you get the entire day 1 of WrestleMania 42. That'll be culminating with the championship match. The undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. This is the live scene now backstage with LA Knight and the Usos getting set for that guy, I Show Speed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. I want our director to take a shot of this scene here because everybody who's been, whether it's the Super Bowl or whether it's major entertainment, when they come to WrestleMania, they often leave saying there's nothing quite like it. Mania mirrors America in many ways. It captures and frames our zeitgeist. It really is a cross-section of who we are, who we've been. So join us in celebrating America and kicking off WrestleMania with God Bless America. Enjoy WrestleMania 42, day number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to sing God Bless America, please welcome Las Vegas's own, the Las Vegas Mass Choir.
Oh, God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountain to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. Yeah. Bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
Tonight, live from Las Vegas, Cody Rhodes
I'm QB1, damn it!
versus Randy Orton for the undisputed WWE Championship.
There is nothing more dangerous than a viper chasing number 15.
Greatness demands an answer. Tonight, live from Las Vegas,
I know you are a liar. You talk too much.
Stephanie Vaquer,
La Primera, bringing the fight.
Liv Morgan
Cry about it.
for the Women's World Championship. Greatness demands an answer.
Things are just heating up.
Tonight, live from Las Vegas, Cody Rhodes
I'm QB